You're watching Capital One Bowl Mania.
College football takes center stage today in the entertainment capital of the world as programs from the SEC and Pac-12 make a business trip to Allegiant Stadium just off the Strip for one last game in the 2022 season. It's the SRS Distribution Las Vegas Bowl, part of Capital One Bowl Mania. The Florida Gators, after a 6-6 regular season, look to finish the year with a winning record as they face 14th ranked Oregon State, seeking its third 10-win season in school history. And hi everybody, Dave Pash, Pat McAfee, Kirk Herbstreit. Guys, 3 weeks from now we have the national championship game on January 9th, but a lot of great stuff between now and then. If you're a college football fan, best time of year.
Yeah, I think bowl season is certainly the most fantastic time of year because not only are the holidays coming and everybody's naturally more happy, but this is the time where college football programs get to showcase all the work they put in all year. This is going into the offseason on a high note or on a dud. It's a magical time of the year, and there's no bigger bowl other than the college football playoff than the Vegas Bowl, and we're lucky to be here.
And speaking of showcasing, you making us look like clowns up here.
No, you guys, I'm the clown. This is Vegas, though, baby. You two look like presidents.
No, you look the way you should look when you're calling the Vegas Bowl. And you know this from being around these teams. I want to see which team's just motivated to play. I mean, we have a half-empty stadium. It's very easy to just kind of show up and go through the motions. As we always see in these earlier bowl games, the team that does a better job showing up ready to play is going to win the game.
What stands out to you about this one?
I think the big one here is it's the old school versus new school almost. Oregon State has everybody playing except for one person who is going to transfer, but I don't think he would have played anyways. Florida has a bunch of guys that are opting out for the NFL, transfer portal, old school versus new school. Billy Napier, obviously, with Florida's trying to build something, but a lot of his guys opted out. A lot of people at Oregon State are sticking around. I'm excited to see old school versus new school today.
And one thing about these opt-outs is you can look at it however you want. I think you can look at it from Florida's perspective. You know what? You lose some good players, but it gives a younger, hungry player a chance to show what he can do, not just today, but maybe use it to springboard yourself into next year as well.
Yeah, and Jack Miller is one of those guys starting at quarterback.
Yep.
This is a big-time moment for him going in next year, and maybe they have some things up their sleeve, Dave, you know, like Chris Angel, David Blaine, Penn and Teller, Adele was singing last night. Vegas makes magic, and we're going to do that here today, Dave.
And let's check it out with the fourth member of our crew. Here's Laura Rutledge.
I got something up my sleeve, some fringe. Anyway, all right, so you talk about Jack Miller, and it's a huge opportunity for him. I just spoke with Billy Napier, Florida's head coach. He said, yeah, Jack's heart's probably beating a little bit, despite the fact that he was pretty cool coming in here earlier today, dancing in warm-ups and trying to stay calm. Either way, the message for him out here as a huge Tim Tebow fan growing up is not to let this opportunity get too big. He's realizing some dreams and being on this field today, but it's about staying within the system, focusing on running the football and getting as comfortable as they can early on. By the way, Pat, let's see if we can get some people to bring some different clothes up there for Dave and Kirk, like maybe some beads or something throughout the show.
I thought ahead. I asked Fitting, and he said, no, you got to put on your tie.
I gave a heads up to everybody. I said, if you're going to have me call a game in Vegas, I'm going to look like an ass, and I do. This is going to be exciting. Laura just got done hosting Miss America, former Miss Florida, and here we go, Dave.
Oregon State won the toss and deferred, so Florida's going to get the ball first. So Jack Miller III, his first pass attempt will be his first as a member of the Gators. Was a really good high school player, started out at Ohio State as we talked about, 14 pass attempts and playing in 6 games with the Buckeyes. He would have been the number 2 behind Anthony Richardson, who opted out not to play in this game going to the NFL draft, but he was hurt, had surgery in the preseason on his throwing thumb, and he was just cleared about a month ago.
We were talking to Coach Napier earlier. He said this guy was our number 2 going into training camp, through training camp. He's got a lot of reps, threw 53 touchdowns in one season as a high schooler, but this is the Vegas Bowl. Will he be able to handle it?
Montrell Johnson, transfer from Louisiana in the backfield. Here comes a jet sweep to Pearsall on first down, and he's tackled for a loss of about 3 on the play. Pearsall, who's a transfer from Arizona State and actually played in this game last year as a member of the Sun Devils.
Get Oregon State hustling to the ball.
Pat, as you know, a big part of today is Florida's speed. They've got to set the edge as they did right there and force that ball back to the inside. Look at this formation. Trips into the boundary up top. See if they motion out of that. No.
2-yard setback on first down. On second down, dangerous pass that was almost picked off at the 20-yard line by Ryan Cooper, who's already got 3 interceptions on the season. 3rd and 12.
You know, they kind of try to load that thing to the left of the field side and do a little, let's see what's open on the other side. Jack Miller just kind of misses the throw. And that's almost a walk-in pick 6 to start this Vegas Bowl.
You're dead on. I think it was more about the throw, really, Pat, than, I mean, Cooper's had a heck of a year in Corvallis for this Beaver defense, but that's not the best way for Jack Miller to get started. He needs to settle in with an easy throw.
So on 3rd down and 12, over the middle, it is dropped at the 30-yard line by true freshman Caleb Douglas. Alex Austin was bearing down on him, and it's a 3-and-out for Florida to start the game.
The nerves of the Vegas Bowl, Herbie, I think, are kind of settling in. That's an easy drop, easy catch. Wouldn't have been a first down, would have still had to punt. But Jack needs to get something here, at least in the next drive, to get a little confidence with it.
And keep in mind, they're Oregon State, playing a little zone, and then on that 3rd down, brought the pressure there with Fisher Morris just trying to, on 3rd down especially, with a guy making his first start, trying to hurry his mind and his clock up and make him inaccurate as they did there.
Josiah Irish is back, almost blocked. Crawshaw got it away. Irish signaling, and fair caught at the 26-yard line.
Good ball, good ball.
So Ben Gulbranson, who is starting for the 8th consecutive game. Chance Nolan was the starter at the beginning of the year. Gulbranson is a redshirt freshman, but he's already graduated. He's a pre-med student.
Whoa.
Have you ever heard of that?
Big brain,
No.
big brain.
Last year, just 9 pass attempts and 6-1 as a starter. The only loss was at Washington. In fact, you look at their 3 losses, they were all close. Washington, USC, Utah wasn't as close. See how Gulbranson fares today. We will see Tristan Gibbia, the backup quarterback, some. Here's true freshman Damian Martinez, who is the offensive freshman of the year in the Pac-12, and he gets 3 yards on first down.
Damian Martinez has 6 straight games of at least 100 yards, was out against Oregon. He's back. That's a big boost for this Oregon State offense, who will grind and pound this thing. That is who they are, Herbie.
Absolutely. It's really, I think we're seeing college and NFL football become more cyclical with the power run game. Teams relying on the line of scrimmage, the line, tight ends, kind of throwback football, and that's what Oregon State likes to run.
And a lot of under center too, right? Play action here. Gulbranson being chased, grabbed and sacked back at the 17. Princely Umanmielen. 4.5 sacks now in the year for him, and it's a loss of about 10.
Yeah, this is who we talked about, Umanmielen, because we said, you know what, we know that we're going to have to deal with him quite a bit because of his ability. I think it was on this side, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, make sure. Now it's on the other side.
Perfect. We did well.
Perfect.
We did well.
Did well, yeah. But he is...
Got to keep your eyes on him, though. He's hard to find.
He's got great speed off the edge and great length. That's the difference in Florida's defense, even with guys out, their athletic ability.
Just going to keep it on the ground here with Martinez. Gets a chunk of it back till he's upended at the 26 by Trey Dean. Gain of 10, but it's 4th down, and so Oregon State will have to punt.
I think what we saw there was a little taste of SEC football for Gulbranson. I don't know if he thought he was going to outrun Umanmielen, but I don't think he was. And that's a little, note to jot down for later.
Got to get rid of the ball, right?
Got to get it out of there, but who knows if anybody was open. We should have been looking for that. We should be the ones telling people that, but obviously we weren't.
Or worse, throw it away. You're outside the tackle box.
SEC, though, and we talked to Coach Smith of Oregon State. Like, this is going to be the biggest, strongest, fastest team we face this year. No matter if people are opting out or not. Big ball.
Ricky Pearson is back, and he fields it at the 15-yard line. Stumbles and drilled at the 12. 59-yard punt. 3 minutes gone by here in Vegas.
A lot of dignity on those streets, but today's a big one at the Vegas Bowl.
Let's go have some fun. Turn that sideline up, okay? And let's go play this game the way we know how to play, okay? Unstoppable. Everybody got me? Yes, get your mind right and let's go get it done. Everybody good here? Yes, we're going to do it together, okay? Here we go. Together on 3. 1, 2, 3. Together.
First year for Billy Napier at Florida. after spending the last 4 years at Louisiana. And a flag down as they try to run Trevor Etienne, Travis's younger brother. We'll see what the penalty's about.
I think Oregon State will be offsides. They had a free play there.
Defense number 52, 5-yard penalty, first down.
What do you guys think of the job that Napier has done in year 1 with the Gators?
Hands are full. I mean, Dan Mullen had some great years, but towards the latter part, really from the Oklahoma Bowl game on, it became just a tough thing as far as the culture and what they were creating. And he's inherited some really athletic guys, and at the same time, I think he's, as we've seen with a lot of opt-outs and transfers from Florida, he's still in the process of building his culture.
Etienne drilled in the backfield for a loss of the 18 by Jaden Robinson, so it'll be second down and either 5 or 6.
This Florida team is certainly an interesting one because they have the talent, they have the ability. Obviously got guys going to the NFL. They don't pick up anything there because the Oregon State defense has been fantastic against the run this year. I mean, that's something they do. Billy Napier wins back-to-back Fun Belt championships, comes to the SEC, comes to Florida. They move it in their facility 10 days before the first game this season, let alone with NIL and transfer portal. He's got a lot to figure out. He's in the deep end, to Herb's point. They got talent, though.
Here's a deep ball that's overthrown, intended for Xavier Henderson. Well, they lost their last 2 games. The one against Florida State certainly can understand, but at Vanderbilt kind of hurt. Otherwise, they're 7-5 coming into this one.
Yeah, there are a few games. I mean, you look back at 5 of their losses, 10 points or less, so they've been close. But truly, I mean, this is an example we said in the open, one of those bowl games for a national powerhouse like Florida. You lose to Vandy, you lose to Florida State. You don't want to lose 3 in a row as far as the branding and image of what the direction you're heading with a new head coach.
Especially not the Vegas Bowl.
Trying to get some positive momentum, thrown behind the receiver, but Pearsall made the catch. A flag comes in late. Robinson on the takedown at the 29-yard line. It's a gain of 10.
It's a great matchup, by the way, with Pearsall against Robinson in the slot. Pearsall, we were watching him with warm-ups.
Defense number 5, penalties decline, results of the play, first down.
He's a great athlete. He's big, strong. He was catching punts, looked comfortable. And here's one he just catches with his hands. Boom. First down. He's out of Chandler, Arizona. Jack Miller out of Scottsdale, Arizona. That's his first completion. I think that means something. Now maybe Jack can get rolling with this. 53 tuds.
Yeah, he was 0 for 3 prior to that pass there. So first completion as a Gator. Well, first down for Florida from its 29-yard line. And here's Etienne. Tries to cut it back, and again Oregon State flying to the ball, very physical. Pickup of 2. Tackle made by Oladapo, who's a first-team All-Pac-12 safety.
I thought Pat made a great point about Oregon State's strength being the run, and with Jack Miller back there at quarterback, they're going to be locked in on Etienne as best they can, and Montrell Johnson, the other running back that'll be back there, try to get Miller into those third and obvious situations, and then you can dial up the pressure. Their defensive coordinator Trent Bray is doing a really good job, and I think it has a lot to do with why Oregon State's enjoyed a 9-3 year.
Well, think about it. They hired him and made him the interim defensive coordinator in the middle of last year. Then he gets a contract extension after the win over Oregon this year. So to your point, big part of the success of Oregon State. Nice catch by Etienne, and you see the speed after the catch, getting the first down to the 41 for a gain of 9.
Great play design there. Kind of get the entire defense going one way, sneak Etienne out the back door. Brilliant stuff here from Napier. One-handed snag, give me that. Big first down for Florida.
And the timing was perfect. They blitz a linebacker, nobody there to pick up Etienne.
Design quarterback run for Miller, and he dives out to the 46-yard line. We're talking about Etienne, older brother Travis and Kirk. I know you've seen this year with Jacksonville closing in on 1,000 yards for the Jaguars. Both are from Jennings High School in Louisiana.
I'm sure Big Brother's watching today and very proud of what he's seen this entire year.
Etienne and number 2, Montrell Johnson, the other running back, he was a guy. They become like besties. I guess they're inseparable together. That's always good news. It could be the future of this whole place.
Yep. Etienne over 700 yards, Johnson over 800. Play action, Miller slinging it to the sideline, caught by Pearsall, and out of bounds at the 36-yard line for a pickup of 19.
It was a great read here. Watch Miller, we're questioning. Watch him work through the progressions. Looks to his left, comes back to the right, sees that separation on the deep crosser, but a good job of locating that and reading the coverage correctly by Jack Miller.
Offensive line giving him time. and now he's skirting.
And he's down to about the 31. You talked, Pat, about the offensive line giving him time. Think about it. They're without Osiris Torrance, who's going to go to the NFL. They're starting right guard, one of the top offensive linemen in the SEC.
Yeah, the offensive line is also another position that is, suffering from some opt-outs in this particular Vegas Bowl, which I don't know why you would do. It's the Vegas Bowl. Look for number 76, Richard Gurage.
I think it's Garage, but that's all right. We'll take it.
Anyways, he's an NFL guy that's opting to play big-time leadership role.
Good job in the backfield. Oladapo coming down to make the hit on Johnson for a loss on the play. So third down.
You guys mentioned that you've got Torrance out, all-conference lineman, and it brings in Cameron Waits. This guy's 6'8", 373, wears a 20 cleat. And they said, I was talking with Billy Napier on the field, he said the thing is we took a flyer on him at Louisiana when he was in Louisiana, never played high school football, he was a basketball guy, but they took a chance and they think he is a superstar in the future playing right guard today.
Not the biggest guy on the team, but he's the biggest player of Jack Miller's short career.
See what Miller does here in 3rd and 6, a penalty marker down, some movement by the Gators.
False start. Offense, number 75. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
So that's on Waits, who we were just talking about. Osiris Torrance, who, as we said, not playing today, consensus All-America, 47 career starts, never allowed even a quarterback hit.
That's a big loss, and a bright future. We see this all the time in bowl games, and it just, like I said, you wish him all the best, and it opens up the opportunity today to let Gator fans see what Cameron Waits can do at right guard. Really a tackle that's playing guard, but I know they're high on his future.
6'8", 373.
Another flag movement again by Florida. Now they're way out of field goal range, and it's going to be 3rd and 16.
False start. Offense, number 65. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
He's had a problem with that all year. He's had a bunch of false starts all year, which is rare, with a center. But it's impacted this line. It's something, if you're a Gator fan watching this, you've seen a lot of it. I'm sure it's been frustrating. Nothing worse than having some momentum, hitting a few passes, moving the ball down the field, and then self-destructing. Kind of a microcosm of some of their season offensively this year.
No question. They've been good running the ball, but other than that, it's been a struggle, especially with Richardson not playing today. Miller dumping it off to Odom, the tight end, who's able to break a tackle, but still comes up about 8 yards short of the line to gain. It'll be about a 46-yard field goal try for Florida if they go for it.
51.
It's 4th down.
52-yard.
I think he's got three. He's got 3 for 50 plus, right, this year.
He does.
Hit over 3, so he's got the leg.
Watch him kick in warm-ups. He hammers the ball.
Does he drive it like low?
No.
He's had 2 blocked.
Come on.
All right, you got confidence? Is this going through?
It's the Vegas Bowl.
Okay. Yeah.
Chris Angel was dangling from this particular stadium just months ago. Now Mahalik from 52 to put the first points on the board.
It's hugging that left upright, and it's no good.
He hit it well, didn't he?
So it remains scoreless here in Vegas.
The SRS Distribution Las Vegas Bowl is brought to you by SRS Distribution. Rooftop by rooftop, SRS delivers more than building products. SRS delivers the American dream. Las Vegas, the greatest arena on earth. And Texac. File for less and get more.
So dancing, some Family Feud, live entertainment, all-you-can-eat buffet, just some of the experiences for the players. Fremont Street here in Vegas. Dave Pash, Pat McAfee, Kirk Herbstreit, Laura Rutledge here at Allegiant Stadium, home of the Raiders, and for the 2nd year, home of the SRS Distribution Las Vegas Bowl. The inaugural game played here last year was Wisconsin and Arizona State, with the Badgers winning. This is year 30, though, of the Las Vegas Bowl, going back to 1992. Kellen Moore and Marshawn Lynch, previous MVPs. Jet sweep to Irish, and he's up to the 40-yard line for a pickup of 5. Let's check in with Laura.
Dave, Oregon State's without some firepower offensively. Trayshawn Harrison, their wide receiver, is unavailable to play in this game. And then Anthony Gould, who they hoped they would have back, re-injured his knee in practice here earlier this week. So you're going to see a little bit more of John Dunmore, maybe a little bit more of Silas Bolden as well.
And Bolden has 17 catches on the year.
And 2 big losses there, even though they're in a lot of 12 personnel with 2 tight ends. Still, those are 2 great players for this offense.
Dunmore transfer from Penn State. They go out of the I here on 2nd and 5 and run it. Fenwick, who's their big back at 230, comes up just short. 3rd down.
There you go. 3rd and manageable for the Oregon State Beavers. Florida was able to drive down, miss on a field goal. Need to start stacking some first downs if you're Oregon State, and this is exactly how they do it. Chip it away.
A little tempo here. 3rd down and 2. Fenwick straight ahead gets the first down to the 45.
Derek Wingo, the linebacker who's in for Miller, Ventrell Miller's not playing. He shot there, almost was able to watch 15. You're able to see him almost navigate through and come up with this stop, but a good job of the offensive line, a really good job by Fenwick knowing where he needs to get to be able to get just enough for that first down. But Pat, you're right. This is Oregon State football. Run the football, stay on schedule, and then on an early down, you take a shot or 2. You know, try to get the safeties out of position.
Play action. Gulbranson setting up, looking to take a shot. Floats it deep downfield. Diving catch at the 21 by Silas Bolden.
To your exact point, Herbie.
Yeah, watch the safeties. This is what you want to see. It's why you do this on 1st and 10. They're expecting run with that 2 tight end look. And then you go to the receivers and you say, hey, Bolden, make a play. Puts it out in front, lays out, gets the separation, and a big completion.
Ben Gulbranson has not been relied upon with his arm. What a dart there, what a catch. That's the type of thing that could really spur an entire game for a team.
Yeah, against Oregon, even though they won, he had only 6 completions in that game. They pitch it to the right, and it's the true freshman Damian Martinez getting a yard. Guys, how about the job that Jonathan Smith has done with his program in year 5? They won 2 games his first year as we have an injured player, and it's Martinez shaken up. But Smith, who you mentioned, Kirk, earlier, MVP of the Fiesta Bowl 20 years ago. Great player, has become a terrific head coach. Got an extension recently.
Yeah, he took over in 2018. The team the year before, they were 1-11, and he just did it the right way. It's taken a few years to build it up, and they're 9-3. See the year that he's enjoyed. Let's hope that Martinez is going to be okay.
Sorry, my bad. I did. Damian Martinez getting help to the Oregon State sideline after taking a shot to the left shoulder on that last play.
It's such a great year. 6 straight 100-yard games. Became the guy. But these safeties, we just talked about how aggressive they're being getting downhill. That's Torrance who hit him, made that collision right near the line of scrimmage, and the freshman goes down. He is a physical back. Gives you an idea of the kind of the hits that are going on out there.
First team all Pac-12. So Isaiah Newell, you guys were talking about during the break, had a big game against Oregon with a couple of touchdowns. He's in the game. Next to Gulbranson out of the gun on 2nd and 9. Gulbranson over the middle. It's pulled in close to the line to gain. Bolden got drilled by Torrance. We'll see where they spot it. It is a first down just short of the 10.
Bolden a little undersized. Look at the shake at the top of this route to boom. Get a little separation. Takes a big shot, holds on to the ball. What a play.
Yeah, and that's his 2nd catch. This one in traffic. And again, there's 22 again. I mean, 22 is getting downhill in a hurry, whether it's run or pass, and it's Torrance. But I like Silas Bolden. I mean, you're right. In the slot with that shake. Saw him downfield make that play where he aired it out, and then this one shows the toughness.
Couple of tight ends. They run it off the left side. Gain of about 2 or 3 for Fenwick, who was the starter early in the year before giving way to Martinez.
This is exactly what Coach Smith wants. Just matriculating the ball down the field. This is the style of play they want to have. This is the timing of the game they want to have. This is everything going good for Coach Smith right now.
And all you want to do now, especially with a few weeks of layoff, you want to continue to execute down in the red zone and put a touchdown on the board instead of settling for 3.
Pat, you talked about time of possession. They're 20th in the country in that. Here's a pitch, and it's Lindsey into the end zone. Touchdown, Oregon State.
Lindsey showcasing some beautiful patience down near the goal line. Great play design, great drive. They punch it home, first points of the Vegas Bowl.
And whether it's a play action on an early down where you get an aggressive defense out of position, or you do a reverse. You know, you try to get an aggressive defense flowing one way, and then you make them pay for it. Now you've got, well, look at the patience right there that you referred to. Waits. That's just instincts as a runner, even though he is a receiver. Great job of setting that up, Pat.
Hell yeah.
And Brandon Kipper was one of the first signees for Jonathan Smith at Oregon State, one of their captains. He's out there blocking the extra point good. And 7-0 Beavers with the lead late here in the first quarter. And Oregon State head coach Jonathan Smith mic'd up before the game.
Hey, this turf is just like we practiced on, you know?
Yeah.
It's the same.
This is a little better.
A little better?
Yeah.
Do your thing today now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And make sure you enjoy this thing now.
Yes, sir.
You know,
yes.
Locked in, got the call, do your thing.
Yes, sir.
I'm totally ready for this.
Yes, yes, sir.
One more ride, bro. Enjoy.
Yes, sir.
It's interesting, we were talking with him this week. He admitted when we asked him about the contract extension, he had a little leverage. He said there were some other schools that were interested. That certainly helped, but he wanted to stay in Corvallis.
Yeah, former quarterback for Oregon State's turned them around. They have great upside right now. Everybody's buying into the program that he's selling. He was very assertive with saying he wanted to do it the old school way whenever he got to Oregon State. Recruiting out of high school, developing players, getting guys to stick around, and I think it's being showcased right now with this team.
Yeah, he's got a mature team, and I think it's a team that's built for with staying power for next year and years down the road. They lost by 3 to USC and 3 to Washington. But 2 of their 3 losses very easily could be sitting there at 11-1 and playing in a New Year's Six bowl game potentially.
Man, huge hit by Brownholtz on special teams there. They're physical and take special teams very seriously.
Well, yeah, Dave. It's football. No, I do appreciate how serious they do take their special teams. Got a chance to chat with everybody out there pregame. I love both these programs. I think they're both heading in great directions, and Martinez is standing, moving his arm.
And Laura has more.
Yeah, guys, good news actually for Damian Martinez. They're telling me it's just a stinger, so he's probable to return.
It's great news for Oregon State.
That way, Laura. Looked worse, certainly. Miller on the rollout, taking the second level throw, and it's caught at the 41 by Ty Bowman. That was an excellent pass by Miller for 16 yards.
How about the patience there? You know, I thought he was waiting a little bit too long. He might have to throw this away. He's got better athletic ability than I think a lot of people realize. Throws that very comfortably on the run.
Yeah, Napier's been calling a lot of things, get him out of the pocket. Also, Oregon designed runs for him. We're learning a lot about old Jack Miller that could earn a lot of playing time in the future here with a great performance in the Vegas Bowl.
And Anthony Richardson, the starter all year. Obviously, he's going to the NFL. And then Jalen Kitna was the backup. He was dismissed from the team. So Jack Miller getting a shot. Certainly trying to help his cause for 2023. Montrell Johnson, no running room against that Oregon State front. You had Lolo Hey in there first for the Beavers coming off the edge.
Funny, all the buildup of this game was, wow, that Florida's got all these guys that are not going to play, and what are they going to do? And you get out on the field pregame, you look at the two teams, it's like,
oh, it's
okay.
SEC still.
Yeah, they still, yeah. There's no shortage of athletes. We're doing okay.
Still got some dudes. Play fake. Miller setting up, has time. Now comes back to this side and is caught by Pearsall, just short. Third down at about 2.
Obviously, the throw is great. The composure is fantastic. But this offensive line for Florida, if they're just going to give Jack all the time in the world in his first ever start, he's going to be eternally grateful for that. Pocket's huge. Yep. Ball was on the money. Jack Miller finding a rhythm.
And again, another example of him, as you said, has the time to throw. Look at the difference from just early kind of getting the nerves out and then these last 6, but working those progressions. That time left all the way back to the right.
Definitely looks more comfortable. They're going to run it. Big hole for Montrell Johnson. And he runs over Oladapo at the 38-yard line. 14-yard gain for the Sun Belt freshman of the year at Louisiana and then transferred to the Gators.
This offensive line is putting on a clinic in pass protection and run blocking. And obviously finishing a run with that type of collision is always a good tone setter.
Yeah, it was Cameron Waits out front leading that, opening that up. That was the big question. Howard Waits do at right guard, but you have the combination of Johnson and ETN, man. That is
Hey, we
really
got a game
good.
right now.
You do? We got a football game.
Florida's figuring it out. Oregon State's figuring it out.
The touchdown by Oregon State. Tyjon Lindsey, the only score of the opening quarter, but the Gators on the move when we start the second.
The College Football Playoff Semifinals, Saturday, December 31st on ESPN.
Dave Pasch, Pat McAfee, Kirk Herbstreit, Laura Rutledge back in Las Vegas. College Football Playoff. 2 weeks from today, the All-State Playoff Predictor looking at the 4 teams that made the College Football Playoff. Not surprising because no one thought anything of TCU coming into the year.
How about that? If you're in Vegas, you would have liked that if you were around here in August.
Big payoff.
If you like TCU.
Sonny Dykes, first year down there, as we stumble out of the gates here in the second quarter with half the line moving, the ball being snapped, and everybody else in disarray.
Offense number 70. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Kirk, I know you did the Big 12 championship game. Who do you guys think is playing the best of the 4 teams right now that are in the college football playoff? Who's playing the best going into the postseason?
Going in, I would say Georgia's been at a different level most of the year, but Michigan seems to be on a mission from the time they lost to Georgia last year. But I would say Georgia would probably be the hottest team.
Yeah, Georgia's the reigning national champions, and they haven't lost. I guess they struggled a little bit with Kent State, so everybody kind of washed them away. All they've been is dominant. They got a 25-year-old quarterback who's won a natty. Georgia's going to be a problem for anybody. Everybody knows that. But I like that Michigan team. TCU, I mean, they're big. I think that's the thing that all these teams have is size. And I think TCU can handle Michigan's toughness, but will they be able to handle everything else? I don't know. The college football playoffs are about to be awesome.
Miller gain of 4. Tackled by Coletto. So you look at the teams to win consecutive national titles. Only been done once since SC, and it was Alabama in 11 and 12. It's been a decade.
Incredible. Tough to do, and it seems like Alabama would be up there more often than that, right? But just it was LSU, Notre Dame. They beat back-to-back.
And of course, Florida fans don't want to hear us talk about this, you know, because the SEC has been pretty top-heavy. There's a lot of "we want Bama" chants everywhere we go with game day. I think starting next year, right, it's going to be "we want Georgia." Georgia's the new team, new dynasty.
Yeah, if they win this year, for sure.
So 3rd and 11 from the 40-yard line, maybe in 4-down territory here. Already a missed field goal by Mahalik from 52.
See if they bring pressure or sit back in zone here.
That's Montrell Johnson leaving the backfield. So empty on 3rd and 11. Oregon State rushing 5. Miller has to step up, in trouble. Able to break a tackle and get about 4 or 5. It will be 4th and 7. It's Jack Coletto who plays everything, including quarterback, making the tackle. Let's see if the Gators go.
I continue to be impressed with Miller, his athletic ability. I mean, he's known for his arm in high school. He ran some. Never really had a chance to show much of anything when he was at Ohio State before he transferred, and because of the thumb injury, you just haven't seen him at all. But today you're seeing he can throw it, but he can get out of trouble too.
Would have been a 53-yarder. Missed the first one. Not going to give you another op. Jack Miller, his first 4th down.
He's completed his last 6 passes. Pressure off the edge. Miller backtracking, being chased, and his pass is broken up, incomplete by Alex Austin, and Oregon State will take over on downs.
This Oregon State defense is fun to watch. They match up well.
On the last 2 plays, they brought pressure. This time it's Jaden Grant who forces Miller out of the pocket.
The SRS Distribution Las Vegas Bowl, part of Capital One Bowl Mania. Chilly day here in Las Vegas. High of about 50 degrees. Of course, we're indoors at Allegiant Stadium. Ben Gulbranson, the starting quarterback. We were told that Tristan Gebbia was going to get a series early on, and that's happening right here for Oregon State.
Incredible to think this guy is a 3-time captain for Oregon State. This is kind of a tip of the cap from, you know, a guy who knows about playing a position. Jonathan Smith is a head coach and a former quarterback. But he says he's got some skill. This is, if he does well,
Snap
he may stay in there.
On the offense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Well, he was at Nebraska playing for former Oregon State coach Mike Riley. Transferred midseason 2018. Was the starter back in 2020. Had a horrible hamstring injury. against Oregon last year and missed last season and just getting healthy. Thrown 5 passes on the season. 3-time captain, by the way. Hands off for Fenwick, gain of 4.
Love to see this from Coach. You know, a little tip of the cap to a guy who's done everything the right way and had an injury kind of get in. But Ben Gulbranson was starting to hit they were starting to move. So I appreciate and respect the fact that the thought was 3rd series, we'll give a tip of the cap to our guy who's been a 3-time captain. I was wondering if he's going to stick with it with how the offense was going. He does. Coach Smith's doing things the right way down there. Loves his players love him.
Didn't help to be off schedule with the penalty on 1st down after the 3-yard gain, 2nd and 12. Jebby over the middle. Oh, what a hit. My goodness. After the catch by John Dunmore, he gets absolutely drilled by a defensive lineman downfield, Justice Boone. Yeah,
Boone, you can see the size of him. And for him to drop, he's got that big billy club there with his right hand. Just lowers the boom right there. Love to see big guys in space. He's 260 pounds. Plays with a great motor.
Did you see him getting his drop, get to his spot, then lay the boom with a cast on? Man, I love when big guys are incredibly athletic and nobody else on earth can do stuff that they do. Boone just did that.
There's Jebbia on 3rd down and long, and down the sideline incomplete. Not sure if that was Velling who was underneath or thrown downfield for Bolden, but it's 4th down, and here comes a punt.
Pat, I think you bring up a good point that before the series even started. Gulbranson, you see there with his blue vest on, looks like CYO.
He's got a penny on. This guy was just in the game.
Yeah.
Just had like a 40-yard completion down the sideline. Now he's got a penny on.
But I think he had that rhythm. You're right. He was starting to get things going, and I think you appreciate that. Hey, this is predetermined that they were going to put Jebbia in regardless. But what will they do now that he goes 3 and out?
So Losher's first punt went for 59 yards.
This guy has an incredible mustache. We saw him in pregame. Big leg, too. What a beautiful ball.
You would know as a 2-time Pro Bowler. Pearsall with the fair catch at the 12. Tonight, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on ABC. It's SMU and BYU in the New Mexico Bowl. You can also watch it on the ESPN app. And SMU offensively with Tanner Mordecai leading the way, was in the top 20 in the country in passing.
Well, they can score.
She Rice can float.
They always have great quarterback play, great receivers. Brett Lashley moves in there as the head coach and had a good first year. And BYU, of course, they can play good defense, be a good matchup.
Coach Lashley has some real pace to his teams. They move. A lot of plays.
From Florida 12, and they're going to run ETN. And Oladapo again in the box makes the tackle, just a 1-yard gain.
Florida's been to Oregon State's 40 3 different times, have 0 points on this.
Bunch of false start penalties, missed field goal, and then they just turned it over on downs on the last possession.
Now they're backed up after a great punt. Going to have to move a little bit. Oregon State's going to be in points.
Miller out of shotgun on 2nd down and 9. Pump fake. Miller steps up in the pocket. Hit. Keeps the play alive, though, on the rollout. And just almost a pick. Wow, that was thrown right to it. Kyrie Fisher-Morris, who intercepted it, but he stepped out of bounds.
Jack living dangerously there. Just throw that thing into the 3rd row. Throw that to Aria. Throw that to the Cosmo. Don't worry about it. Play's dead. Those are the things, then. Your first start for a team. You can give up on a play every once in a while, even though he kept that thing alive in such beautiful fashion.
The previous play of the defender being out of bounds for the catch is under further review.
I think his right foot was well out of bounds before he caught the ball.
It looked like his foot landed out of bounds. We bring Bill Lamagna, and Bill, you see anything different
what do you got there?
He's out of bounds. The foot was down, then the ball came in. Incomplete pass.
Yep. Bill, we need more of that. Did you hear that?
It's authority.
Matter of fact, confident.
That's what he does.
Why are we even talking about this? This is good for officiating to have Bill continue to talk like this.
Well, my question is, why are they even reviewing this?
Yes,
that's what
we're all thinking. Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you.
You're muted.
You gotta hit
Bill, that's the problem.
You got to hit a button.
That's the problem. We got the good ones muted.
Yeah.
That's the deal.
Yeah.
Bill, you did great there. You're right. We need more of you out there.
It is.
There you go.
I'm not going to tell you what I think. I'm going to tell you what I would have done with it.
Absolutely. He does that every Saturday night with Fowler and I. Bill, he don't mess around.
Just wondering why this is taking so long.
Well, we all have gripes about the review system in all sports. Certainly in football.
Review, the ruling on the field is confirmed.
That baby.
Complete.
Good call. That was a good first call. Good eye. Didn't need to review it. Didn't need to review it.
Guys, Billy Napier, who spent some time at Alabama, we've seen a lot of guys go through with Nick Saban, and it's really helped them. Things didn't work out at Clemson. Napier was really young when that didn't happen there and didn't work out. I think he was in his early 30s, but went to Alabama and then had successes at Louisiana as the head man.
Yeah, I mean, but think about that background. His dad was a coach, of course, and he learned, came up with it, but then to be able to work for Dabo Swinney early, and even though it didn't work, he gets to go and work for Nick Saban. We've seen so many guys work for him and then eventually go on to become great coaches, and he's became the head coach of Louisiana, and here he is now in Gainesville.
Trying to finish with a winning season. 6-6 coming in. Miller holding the ball. Now finds a running lane. Trying to get the edge. Jack Coletto slowed him up. And then the rest of the Oregon State defenders come in and make the tackle. Again, Coletto, who plays quarterback, plays 4 different special teams and plays defense.
Yeah, it goes by the nickname of the Jackhammer. Came in as a quarterback, will play linebacker, will play wide receiver, will return the ball every once in a while. I think he's the only player in FBS to have like thrown a tud, catch a tud, fumble a tud, punt a tud, whatever. He does everything. There he is right there. The best football player on the field right now. This is Taysom Hill reincarnated. The Jackhammer, Jack Coletto.
Except Taysom Hill's alive still. Here's a punt. Irish backing up. And he fields it on the 25. Trying to get the edge. Hand fighting down the sideline. Gets a block, but then momentum carried him out of bounds. 58-yard punt, though. We've seen some great punts here.
Yeah, I love what the boys are doing. They're bombing balls. That returner's certainly a guy. What will Oregon State do on the other side?
The SRS Distribution Las Vegas Bowl is brought to you by Las Vegas, the greatest arena on earth. Virgin Hotels Las Vegas and Rain-X. Outsmart the elements.
What a great Oregon State team that was under Dennis Erickson, led by the current head coach of the Beavers, Jonathan Smith, who threw for over 300 yards and 3 touchdowns as they blew out Notre Dame in the 2001 Fiesta Bowl. He had T.J. Hushmanzada, Chad Johnson. He went by Johnson back then.
And that game that night, I remember watching it. It was not good if you're a Notre Dame fan. It was 41-9, but it felt 100-9.
Yes, it did.
Oh, free play.
Yep. And down the field, Jebbia trying to hit Dunmore, and it's incomplete.
That's a veteran there, though, taking advantage of the free play.
Giving him another series after the last one was quick.
Offside, defense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
We should review that, though.
Well, you think about Jonathan Smith playing for Dennis Erickson, then working for Chris Peterson at Washington, and then getting the job here in 2018, and they have a chance if they win to get to 10 wins for the 3rd time ever.
Steelers helmet? Let's go, coach.
They won 6 out of 7 coming in. Here's a quick throw to Bolden out in space on 1st and 5, and he gets about 4 yards, brought down by Jaden Hill.
Continue to try to get Bolden the ball any way they can. Seen him making some plays. It's been their best weapon in the passing game, no matter who's back at quarterback. There's your guy.
The Jackhammer. Offense, defense, special teams.
Just whatever.
You're playing football, I'm there.
And as Laura mentioned earlier, no Trayshawn Harrison or Anthony Gould at receiver for Oregon State. Fenwick is the running back on 2nd down and a yard. Fenwick through a crease and a 1st down. So a gain of 6 on 2nd and 1 for Deshaun Fenwick.
And as good as Martinez has been as a true freshman, what you get from Fenwick, keep in mind when they broke camp, he had the freshman beaten out. And so, he had a chance to show what he could do, and then Martinez came along and became the guy. But Fenwick, now that he's healthy, man, he is a thumper. Downhill runner, fits perfectly into what this system is.
This Oregon State team, you get the sense, is going to be good for a while.
Jam Griffin in the backfield. Incredible name.
Ball on the ground, picked up though by Gebbia, and then dropped back at the 32-yard line by Derek Wingo. It's a loss of 12. Could have been a lot worse though with a free ball.
Self-inflicted negatives. Those are the sins in Sin City right now for Gebbia. Couldn't gather the snap. Jam tries to pick it up.
Yeah, he never had it football. No. He was lucky to get that ball back. By the way, 15 Wingo, who's been active all over the field today. There's another guy from the Gators when you have Ventrell Miller out, who's going to step up, and he's been that guy. Played in the Florida State game, and Billy Napier telling us on the field before the game, they think he's the leader of this defense moving forward.
Sophomore from Fort Lauderdale, Gebbia over the middle and out to the 42-yard line. True freshman tight end Jake Belling out of Seattle. That's his 15th catch. He's got 3 touchdowns, so they get 10 yards. It'll be 3rd and 12.
This is an offense that loves their tight ends, and maybe one of the better tight ends in the country. Luke Musgrave was out early, and it really left this offense reeling a bit between that and losing their starting quarterback Chance Nolan, and they had to kind of reinvent the wheel a little bit offensively with some younger players. They still like to get their tight ends, and Belling's been a go-to guy as a young player.
Gebbia 3rd down and 12. Leaving the pocket, being chased and throwing incomplete, but a flag comes down. Tyjon Lindsey was being defended downfield by Perkins.
Pass interference, defense, number 27. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
I don't know if he's catching that, but he certainly made contact before the ball got there with his helmet, hand on the side of his head. Bill, why they call that, Bill? Is that just because he got his hand on his head, or because it wasn't catchable? What happened there, Bill?
That's what we call a grab and restrict. He's taken him off of it. He's gained an advantage.
Yeah,
it's a good call.
And think about this again. Travels Johnson is the starting nickelback. He's not playing in this game. Perkins is in to get an opportunity, and not a ton of experience, and shows that lack of experience there. He just lets that play go. I love the hustle, but you can't grab like that, especially in a critical down.
Right, it would have been 4th and 12, and they're punting.
Now we get a new set of downs after having a fumbled exchange earlier. This is beautiful for Oregon State.
And plus territory off the left edge. Fenwick breaking free. Inside the 20, being chased and finally pushed out of bounds by Perkins at the 13-yard line. It's a 30-yard run.
I love the look of this back. The transfer from South Carolina, 6'2", 226. Look how quickly he gets downhill. Great job by the line getting up to that second level, up into the face of those linebackers. And then he's got speed for a guy at 226. He's leaving those safeties behind.
Yeah, 6'2", 226. Not only with incredible vision, but he can pound you too if you need to. Keeps the defense guessing. What a cut, what a burst, what a play.
Saw some power and now speed. 1st down and 10 at the 13. Quick pitch to Jam Griffin and could not get the corner. Again, you see the speed of the Gators on the perimeter. Shamar James, who they think is going to be a really good SEC linebacker with the stop.
Yeah, you're really getting a good look at both their linebackers that they feel that could be the future with Wingo and James. James is that true freshman that you talked about.
This Oregon State offense attacks the edges. So you got to be good. James is athletic. You got people in the booth telling Kirk Herbstreit that their mother is in love with him and his blue eyes right here at the Vegas.
Yeah, they were loving.
Timeout.
How you doing? Good to
Oregon
see they were yelling for you.
First of the half.
Oh, Mr. McAfee, that's awesome.
That was a mister.
Yeah.
I called you mister.
Super professional. Must be the
you're
jacket.
reaching that age, mister.
At our college football studio with our SRS studio update. Final play, regulation, Celebration Bowl. Shedeur Sanders to Travis Hunter. Catches it, ties it. We're in overtime in Atlanta. Guys.
And then Deion obviously going to Colorado.
Man, he's already off to a big start with that introduction to the team.
Yeah, that was awesome. Listen, those boys didn't look that excited, and I feel like Deion brought the heat back to him, but I love everything Deion did at Jackson State. I wish he would have been, maybe the coach of the team that I went to school with.
Here's Lindsey on the catch, And trying to shake a couple defenders. He's down to the 6 for about 7 yards.
And congrats to Coach Taylor, who will be taking the reins at Jackson State, friend of Dion, hired by Dion. That should continue down there as a wagon in Mississippi. We were lucky enough to go there.
I feel like Colorado's gotten more attention in 2 weeks than they have in 20 years. And that's what hiring Deion Sanders
Going
does
back to the play against Michigan, like when's the last time the Cordell Stewart played?
That was probably last time people talked about.
I forget.
Chris Brown in 01 had a good team.
They posted like the amount of season tickets that they sold immediately following his signing. Like actual difference maker business-wise, and certainly in that locker room.
Gebbia 3rd down and 6, dumps it off, caught at the 5, Dunmore, and he did not get the first down. It'll be 4th down and a yard. Let's see if they go for it here. Good job by Jaden Hill and Rashad Torrance to make sure he didn't get the first down.
Jaden Hill with an incredible open field tackle. I mean, could have got juked, could have got shook. Boom. Fires his shot, trips him. That's a big-time play to save a touchdown. Here we go.
Gebbia, quarterback sneak, and he pushes the pile down near the 1, but a penalty marker is down on the far side of the field at the 12-yard line, right at the line of scrimmage. Actually behind the line, but thrown where...
Well, they went fast. You just wonder where they
Not all players were set before the snap, so it's a false start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
The execution with a backup quarterback, just a matter of trying to go a little fast. I don't know if the receiver there to the left, Dunmore, after that reception. I don't know if it was him still settling in.
But you have to be set for a beat, right? That's the rule. Like it has to be a beat.
Bill, they're killing you on the mic again.
You're muted, man.
You say what we do on Saturday. He's got his own button. And he doesn't have his button.
Oh, Bill's button.
He didn't bring his button out to Vegas with him.
My fault.
But I did hear Bill say you have to be set for a second, and you could see there
the whole team of 11 has to be set before somebody goes in motion.
Everett Hayes here has had a rough year. Massive leg, though. Saw him kicking in warm-ups. Can certainly put the ball through the uprights.
What do you have for us here, Pat?
I think it's going in. Good snap, good hold. Nice smooth stroke, right down the center. Perfect in the bowl game. That's the only thing that matters. Doesn't matter what you did before that.
I'll say this, that penalty by Oregon State probably saves, for the Florida fans, it saves them 4 points, and it also keeps them in this game. You get down 14-0 in this bowl game after losing your last 2. Not good.
All right, let's go to Laura standing by with Jonathan Smith.
All right, thanks, Dave. Coach, the plan all along was to bring in 3-time captain Gebbia quarterback. Why?
Well, I think he's been practicing really well. This team, again, his leadership and influence, the way he's handled being the backup. And like I say, he was practicing really well the last half of the year. We felt good to put him in the game.
What do you do going forward at quarterback?
We're going to go back to Ben now. We thought about, again, Tristan for 2 and see how it plays out. I thought Ben in his second series made some good throws. So we'll put Ben back in here and regroup at halftime.
All right, we can't wait to see it. Thanks.
Thanks.
Guys.
Great interview, Laura.
And not only that, I loved it how he was honest. He just said, here's what we're going to do. This is what we did. And she followed up with a great question. What are you going to do next? And going back to the freshman.
I'm always in favor of former players coaching because they I think they act differently, not only to the players, but to everybody. He was very real with us and honest with us. And I think his players appreciate him for that.
Well, you look at the last 2 years in this world of transfer portal, they don't lose a lot of guys. That's the answer to me to the portal. Create a culture your players want to be a part of.
Relationships are everything.
ETN on the return. Well, to your guys' point, Chance Nolan, who got hurt and replaced by Gulbranson, he's the only player in the transfer portal for Oregon State. Florida, since training camp, has lost 40 players since opening.
And I will say this in defense of Florida, Billy Napier, in his first year as a coach, Jonathan Smith in his 5th year, it's very different. He probably is like maybe a little bit like, oh, you're leaving? Oh, okay. Sorry to see you go. And then bring in a new wave. They have 33 guys that played all year not playing in this bowl game. I'm sure some of them, they're okay losing, bringing a next wave that are your kind of guys.
So Florida with 4.5 minutes to go, trying to run the ball and nowhere to go for Montrell Johnson. You had Omar Spates in the backfield, Akili Arnold as well.
This is bullseye. Oregon State equipment manager tasked with grabbing a tee after a kickoff. I was told he is the fastest tee grabber in the country. After every single rep, he lets that handlebar mustache get tightened up, and then he points up to the sky and the gods and thanks them for the opportunity to sprint on that field.
Now, he came up to you on the field pregame.
Oh, yeah.
And came up to make sure that you knew what was going on.
Hey, How you doing? I'm JD. They call me Bullseye. I'm the fastest tee grabber in the country.
Miller drilled back at the 15 by Chatfield. Loss of 10. The Florida transfer getting it done against his ex-team.
And I heard Bullseye had a little bit of design for this particular play.
Watch, this is a great job of coverage downfield because this is decent protection. But look at the job downfield. Everybody's taken away. And then the motor there of Chatfield. And Big Bullseye loves to see the boys get home to the quarterback.
Just like JD drew it up. That was great, relentless tenacity off the edge. Big time shot, 3rd and the 3rd.
Going to keep it on the ground here. No running room for Johnson. Stood up by Omar Spates, the leading tackler, first team all Pac-12. It'll be 4th down, and Oregon State's going to get the ball back with plenty of time, leading 10-0.
I'm going to say some random numbers right now, Dave. Don't act like they're that big of a deal. At one point, this thing was 10.5, then 9.5, then 8.5. It felt like a lot of people knew what was potentially coming. A 3rd ever 10-win season for Oregon State with everybody playing versus a Florida team that is certainly in the middle of a rebuild with opt-outs. 10-zip, getting the ball back right now, probably good field position. Oregon State's humming Kirk Herbstreit.
Feeling good about Oregon State right now is what you're saying.
Very. Very. This is when they get better. They get better as the game goes on. Like, that's the Oregon State team. They were down 21-10 with 3 minutes left or something like that in the 3rd quarter against Oregon, and then they just blew the doors out of the place.
Oregon State took a timeout, so 1 left, 2:55 to go when they get the ball back, trying to get more points, adding to a 10-0 lead.
Coming up at the half, Deion and Jackson State need overtime in the Celebration Bowl. Louisville didn't need any help in their game at Fenway Park, plus some quarterbacks on the move. Busy day in college football. You know what? The Vegas Bowl in Las Vegas was created for Pat McAfee in that gorgeous booth out there, gentlemen. So good.
My God.
What's Matty Berry giving you a little shout out there?
He's handsome. He's very handsome. He's good at what he does, and obviously he was thinking the same thing me. Vegas Bowl, dressed like an ass. You two presidential stuff around.
Remember last night I see the guy that stopped by and say hello at dinner. I said, man, he looked a lot like Matt Berry.
Billy Bush said hello to us at dinner last night. Billy Bush still around. Found that out last night. Kirk
Here comes a flag,
Billy
by the way. Crawshaw got hit. I don't know if it was the plant leg. Here comes another flag as a helmet goes flying. So if it was the plant leg, it's going to be roughing. We'll see if it's running or roughing. Although it's 4th and 20, roughing would give you the automatic first down.
There's going to be a hold, I think, on the receiving team as well as whatever this running or roughing thing is.
What's that feel like when you get roughed?
You know, you feel like a football player there for a second. It's a cool little moment of your time when you're floating through the air and you feel like Will Ferrell in Talladega Nights. This is not good right now. And then you hit the ground, you get a bruise, and you feel like, wow, I'm never going to be able to walk again. How do these football players do this every single play? That's what it feels like in a matter of a half second.
That's when they really hit you. I've seen a lot of, I don't know if they're watching the World Cup, the punters. I've seen a lot of almost flopping.
Don't you put that on us.
They've been flopping.
No. Don't you put that. Look at that guy trying to kill him.
That's real.
You can't do that.
All right,
you see, that's the thing you can't do.
But we had a holding call on the receiving team, it looked like, and we had a roughing the punter.
They went over and talked to the coach because of his options on both of them.
There are 2 fouls, both against the receiving team. Running into the kicker by the defense, penalties decline.
Should have been a roughing.
During the kick, holding by the return team, that penalty is accepted 10 yards from the spot of the foul.
Because, Bill,
first down.
Isn't roughing plant leg? It's got to be the plant leg for roughing?
If you take or if you have hard contact to the body.
Like that right there, Bill, you're right.
He just grazed him.
You obviously weren't a punter.
Thank you, Bill. That's what I'm talking about.
So
Bill.
should that have been roughing?
I would have gone roughing the kicker on the call. He decided it wasn't forcible enough. It only displaced him.
Well, it's good news for Florida because they cannot afford points, especially a touchdown. They go all the way back to the 15. Remember, Oregon State deferred, so they get the ball to start the second half. So that makes this a big series for both these teams.
And Florida's offense has really struggled. Just 2 yards here in the quarter. Bill Branson back on the field, as Coach Smith told Laura that would be the case.
Take the penny off. Get back in the game. Good mental toughness here by Bill Branson.
From the 15-yard line with 1 timeout to go, 2:43 remaining. They're going to run it, and Fenwick again lowers the boom on Rashad Torrance, bounces off him and gets 8 yards.
Yeah, outside zone play is a staple, and the double teams, and they do it so well, this offensive line. It's what they do. It's their bread and butter, and the backs do a good job of really getting a good feel of reading that double team and whether to bounce it or potentially bring it back to the backside. That time it opened it up play side.
See the numbers for Fenwick on the day. We have not seen Damian Martinez come back in after getting a stinger. Return questionable. They feed Fenwick, and he's dropped. 1-yard gain. Trey Dean, their leading tackler, coming down to make the stop, although maybe a timeout was called before or after. I think after, because Florida wants it back, so they use the timeout there to stop the clock.
Timeout,
59 to
Florida. First of the half.
You know, without the threat of a quarterback that can pull it and get out here, watch how this defense attacks the edges, because there's no concern at all. You know, in college football nowadays, more often than not, the quarterback is a threat. But without that threat at all, you can pinch down on short yardage and, you know, keep a guy that short of the first down. You know, no threat at all. And I think talking to the coaches, I feel like we were like, boy, this young freshman, this is maybe your guy of the future. They said, yeah, he's good, but we're always looking for a guy. I think in their system, they'd love a guy that can move around, a dual threat guy.
So 3rd and 1, Florida with 2 timeouts remaining. They put a little bit of time back on the clock, so 2:02 to go in the half.
Like Napier calling the timeout, hoping to get the ball back. 3rd and 1 though, with the way this Oregon State team runs.
Here's Jack Coletto in motion, going to line up under center.
Oh, hard count too.
So Coletto's got 21 career rushing touchdowns. They fake it and they do the deep snap to Gulbranson, trying to outrun the defense, and he gets the first down barely.
When you talk creative gadgets, you talk about everything that just happened right there. The jackhammer gets under center. Hard count. We're going to do a quarterback sneak. Absolutely not. Snap through his legs to Gulbranson, who has the ability to hopefully hit a deep ball or run it himself. What a beautifully designed play there for the Oregon State Beavers.
And we just said, you know, the athletic ability, and there he shows you just enough to be able to get the first down. But the creativity, I think that still goes back to the Chris Peterson influence on Jonathan Smith.
Gulbranson slings it complete to the 40-yard line, and the Penn State transfer John Dunmore caught just 4 passes during the regular year, gets 16 yards, and now Oregon State with a first down, a little momentum, going to bring some tempo. They still have that 1 timeout, clock restarting on the ready for play. Gulbranson to throw again, this one to the sideline. Again, Dunmore stop the clock as he steps out at the 46.
Running a 2-minute offense right now, it feels like, with pace and precision from Gulbranson, picking right up where he was on his 2nd drive earlier in the half.
And Gators playing some zone defense in the last 2 plays against soft coverage. The big throw downfield to Dunmore, where they just settled in front of the safety, timing perfectly, and then just a quick outcut for more positive yards.
And between the 2 Oregon State quarterbacks, just 1 incompletion. You just saw the numbers for Gulbranson, 4-4, 2nd down and 6, closing in on a minute to go, and it's the tight end Belling, a first down into Florida territory. Clock will stop for a moment. Gain of 10. 44-yard line of the Gators.
Spread them all over the field. Opens up the middle. You go from the outside to the inside, and again, balls out quickly. Good quick decision there by Gulbranson.
Another pass play. Gulbranson facing some pressure, gets out of there and throws it away. Clock stop with 55 seconds remaining.
They had that Florida D reeling a little bit. Thought they were going to try to take advantage of it. I think they're winded. Throws it out of bounds, stops the clock. Let's get a reset for both sides here.
Going back to that short yardage, have you guys ever seen the center snap it through the guy under center, under his legs to the? I've never seen that.
That was awesome. They had to rep that, had to practice that. I wonder if there was ever a time where the jackhammer caught it off a thigh. That's Jack Coletto, obviously the man that was under center for that. I love the creative gadget, though. Got to do stuff like that on 3rd and short and in the red zone.
Gulbranson underneath to Irish. Close to the first down. Looks to be just short, though. Clock moving, 45 seconds. Oregon State going to hold on to that timeout. 3rd down and a yard.
Continue to go underneath against his zone defense.
Take what you get.
Yep.
Would assume it's Fenwick, and it is. Powering past the line to gain for a first down. Clock will stop again to reset the chains. 31 seconds to go and still a timeout.
People talk about how he manages this offense for Jonathan Smith in these last 7 games where he is 6-1. This is a good example on this drive.
Gulbranson to throw, surveying, now fires incomplete, batted away by Marshall, intended for Bolden. 20 seconds to go, 2nd and 10. Keep in mind the long on the year for the kicker Everett Hayes is 50, so does have the leg. It would be about 50 from here.
It's a great pass break up here.
Sure was. Got around. Anytime you see that in-breaking route and you're able to not interfere with that offhand.
Cut.
Yeah.
Break.
Get around him, and then knock that ball away.
I mean, just as boom. Hand gets in there, causes the deflection. Hit a guy in the face, maybe. They needed it. 20 seconds left. Is this 13 or 17?
Gulbranson on the move. Throws complete inside the 25 to Isaiah Newell, and he did get the first down, so the clock will stop to reset the chains with 11 seconds left. What do you do here? You got one timeout. Do you snap and spike? Do you run a play?
I think you spike, but it looks like they're calling a play. He's going to call play, maybe take a shot, and then maybe settle for a field goal if you don't hit it. Better hurry.
Tick, tick, tick.
Back to throw. Gulbranson on the run. Takes off.
Tick, tick, tick.
And steps out wisely with 1 second left.
Nonchalantly.
Oh, my goodness.
Nonchalantly.
That's incredible football IQ by Gulbranson. One of the younger guys, 6-1 on the year. Right before half, has the wherewithal to get out of bounds with 1 second left on the clock.
Watch him chill, though. I mean, I think he peeks up at his scoreboard as he's jogging right there and said, oh, boy, I better get out of bounds quick.
Perfectly timed.
Just made it. So a 33-yard attempt for Everett Hayes to end the half with his second made field goal. He hit from 27 earlier.
There's NFL guys that messed that up. What Gulbranson just did there.
Florida going to call a timeout.
Before the snap, timeout, Florida, second of the half.
Make them think about it, they said, Dave.
So what's that like, Pat? You've been in that position, college and also in the NFL. What's that like when the opposing coach tries to freeze you?
Yeah, I don't know if it works. Some people love it, some people don't. I think stats will be kind of indifferent on it all. He just got a chance to hit a little shot at it, though, so he'll get a mulligan. I always enjoyed getting another shot at it. I know Adam Vinatieri did as well. Hopefully he'll be able to rely upon that and knock it through, but what a first half we've had here, Dave.
We got to find Florida's offense.
Yeah.
That second quarter, I mean, it looked like Jack Miller was starting to find some rhythm, get some confidence himself, and then what you say, 2 yards?
2 yards.
The entire second quarter.
Yeah.
So. That's not a lot of yards.
No, that would be bad.
But Oregon State's been playing great to extend.
Oh, it's blocked. Free ball. It's scooped up at the 15-yard line. Past the 40. They just got to tackle him. And they finally do. It was scooped up. It was blocked by Jordan Young and then picked up by Derek Wingo. There are penalty markers down, though, so hold on.
Might be after the play, but maybe Napier wanted to get the perfect block in. Overload to the right on the defensive side.
Got a good jump. You see that?
Get low. Eyes weren't out to number 111. Gets full extension right to the block point. Then that thing's scooped, and could you imagine they take this to the house?
Personal foul, number 11 on the return team. It was a dead ball foul. That foul will be administered.
He blocked the field goal
in the second half. That's the end of the half.
Nailed it. Thank you, Rex.
So that will come on the kickoff. Remember, they have to kick off to Oregon State.
That's correct. That penalty will carry over to the second half. They'll tack it on the kickoff.
Oregon State will get the ball to start the second half. Go to Matt Berry, Sam Acho, Jesse Palmer in the studio. 10-0 Beavers at halftime.
Dave Pass, thank you. Fun first half as we welcome you into your halftime report. We are going to see
Junior running wild for Southern Miss.
I like BYU in this one. They've had an up and down season. They want to finish this year strong.
All right, we'll finish this halftime strong. Back to Vegas. Guys, what's your roulette number?
7.
23.
11. Play all 3 and you'll win a lot of money. Back to the SRS Distribution Bowl after this.
Let me show you how to go far.
Welcome back to the SRS Distribution Las Vegas Bowl, part of Capital One Bowl Mania. Florida had under 100 yards of offense and only 2 in the second quarter. First time they've been shut out in the first half all season. They trailed Oregon State 10-0. Dave Pasch, Pat McAfee, Kirk Herbstreit. We talked about no offense for Florida. Oregon State, decent offense as you look at our clutch delivery, brought to you by Chipotle.
Yeah, and I think it's been a tale of 2 different quarterbacks for Oregon State. Obviously, you have Gobranson come out, find a rhythm, and get going, and then he gets pulled from the game. He gets put back in at the end of the half. I've enjoyed watching him settle in. And the comfort, the composure, the dart downfield here at the end of his second drive was obviously what led them to get into some scoring range.
Yeah, I think the offense has found a rhythm, and it does seem like they have the ability to not just run the ball, but I think with his ability on early downs, play action, and take shots, and could see with the injury to Martinez that Fenwick has stepped in there and known as a kind of a thumper, but he's had a chance to be able to get out in the open field too, which has been good to see. But now we got to talk Florida.
Right.
I mean, what is Florida going to do to get back into this game? They've got pride on their side. They got athletic ability on their side. But the quarterback's got to obviously execute better. They got to make big plays in the pass game.
Yeah, they just blocked a kick too, so maybe that'll spur something. But offensively, they have been abysmal. But is that Oregon State being an incredible defense? I guess we shall see in the next 2 quarters.
They are a really good defense. No Anthony Richardson for Florida, so you're trying to find out what Jack Miller has.
Yeah.
And he started out slowly, but seemed to get going there a little bit. But they haven't been able to convert when they've been inside the 30.
Got it. They're gonna have to take some shots downfield. Oregon State, they get into man-to-man, or they put a safety in the middle. You get some one-on-one chances. You've got to be able to get your receivers matched up, and you got to win downfield.
As we mentioned, first scoreless first half of the season. The last and only time Florida was shut out in a bowl game was 1975. Florida trying to finish with a winning season. Oregon State trying to get to 10 wins on the year, which would be just the 3rd time in program history. Because of the penalty, that's why they were kicking off where they were. And Bolden on the return, out past the 35 and dumped at the 37. Moment ago, Laura Rutledge had a chance to talk with Florida head coach Billy Napier.
Thanks, Dave. Coach, what's important for Jack Miller in this second half at quarterback?
Well, we should have some points, right? I think we had a couple fringe red area possessions where we had some penalties. I think just settling in, running the operation, right, getting comfortable with the play clock, communication. We can clean some things up. We're certainly seeing a little bit more man-to-man than expected, and we've got to do a job as coaches and help them out.
We're about to see your defense on the field. What's your message to them right here in this first possession offensively for Oregon State?
Well, huge play to end the half, right, with a blocked field goal. 10-0. You know, our guys are hanging in there. They've done a good job so far. We got to generate some points on offense.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Well, they just ran behind Coletto. They had him in there at fullback, and Fenwick on the first play of the second half gets 6 yards.
Just a power to the left, too. Old school football. Ground and pound, and Fenwick has done an incredible job here in relief of Martinez.
Fenwick, transfer from South Carolina, started the first 7 games, and Damian Martinez stepped in, ended up being the Pac-12 Offensive Freshman of the Year. Fenwick running to the right this time. He'll come up a yard short of the line to gain. Jervon Dexter is going to the NFL draft, but playing in this game made the stop. First half stats brought to you by Dollar General. We talked about the lack of offense. They had as many penalties, Florida, as first downs. 5 to 12 first downs for Oregon State. Fenwick tackled for a loss. Trey Dean with the stop at the 44. Now it's 4th and 2. We'll see what the Beavers do.
Go back to second down, the play by Dexter, who you mentioned is off to the NFL, but has decided to play in this game. He wants to finish the year. Then the next play, you blitz the safety and Trey Dean, who's one of the leaders. So the play on second down leads you to this 3rd down blitz, and you get off the field. We just talked about what does Florida got to do. Hopefully, for their sake, they get a 3 and out. They get the ball back to their offense, and that's what they're able to do here. But this defense playing well.
3 and out is huge.
And they fake it, and it's Coletto running, getting the first down.
To who?
Coletto pays for it, but man, there's like a
the jackhammer
appreciation award for all the things he's done for Oregon State over the last 5 years.
The jackhammer Jack Coletto does it all for the Oregon State Beavers. Classic snap to the up guy. He's on the left, probably gives the cadence, former quarterback, has the power, the wherewithal to pick up a big first down and continue a drive that we thought might have swung momentum
Yeah.
into Florida's favor. Big special teams play by the jackhammer. And guess who's back in it? The Paul Hornung Award winner.
First in the Pac-12 since Christian McCaffrey at Stanford.
That's just a football player, right? That's what the Paul Hornung Award?
Yeah, does everything.
He's in there at fullback. Branson off play action, loses the ball. I don't think his hand was going forward. It's recovered downfield, though, by Dunmore for a first down. So it ends up being a 12-yard gain.
I almost thought it looked like he threw the ball shovel pass with his left hand, which brought the ball out.
You're right. So them going forward.
So that should be an incompletion. They'll have to take a peek at that.
No question.
Billy, you agree with that?
Yeah, he did. He got a left hand with a push forward. That's a pass. It's incomplete. Replay's buzzing right now.
Good.
This will be reversed to an incomplete pass.
Yeah.
For Branson, this is two very high football IQ plays that we've seen. Before the half, he skirts out of bounds with 1 second left so they can attempt a field goal. Here, right before sack, he's able to shoo and shovel it off and not get a, intentional grounding or anything. I mean, this is a brilliant play.
Avoiding the sack, a little dangerous, but clearly the hand going forward, it's an incomplete pass. Welcome back to Las Vegas, the SRS Distribution Las Vegas Bowl. 10-0 Oregon State, so a 12-yard gain because of a fumble is negated. You can clearly see, as we showed you going to break, the left hand going forward. Incomplete pass from Branson. They'll put the ball back at the 45 of Florida, 2nd down and 10.
Remember, this drive continues because of that fake punt by Coletto, who picked up the first down. We were bragging, saying, wow, Florida's defense does the job, and instead the drive's still alive. See how it finishes.
There's Fenwick, and boy, he finishes runs. Rashad Torrance, the safety. I mean, those DBs are giving up 25 pounds to him, and he lowers the boom for 5 yards.
This offensive line, they're like a symphony in how they work together. It's easy to keep your eyes on the back, and he is running hard, but man, it's fun to watch. They don't really hide around what they're going to do. They're going to run outside zone. You get double teams, you work up, and there's that collision again from Torrance hitting Fenwick.
Yeah, I respect Torrance trying to stand up. Fenwick there is 226 and rolling full speed. That's a big time collision, but that offensive line on a string, you're 100% right. Free play.
Yep, offside and shot downfield just off the fingertips of Bolden, incomplete. Bolden shaken up, but because Powell Ryland was offside, it's going to be a first down anyway. So you get the fake punt. Now you get a first down via penalty.
5-yard penalty. Results of the foul. First down.
It was right there, easy to see for Branson. So why not take a shot? It's his guy, Silas Bolden, who's had a big day catching a football. Hill almost got that hand in there and drew the interference call, but the refs let him play.
6th penalty on Florida.
I continue to be impressed by Branson. Taking advantage of the free play there, avoiding the sack, running out of bounds. High football IQ stuff.
Here comes a double pass. Lindsey, incomplete, trying to hit Overman downfield. We've seen several trick plays by Oregon State, and the coach has pretty much told us, hey, we're going to let it fly. It's important for us. We want to get win 10, but we're going to have some fun with it, too.
I think they actually said Lindsey can throw the ball.
He did. There was a tip on the call. And I even said when Jonathan Smith said that, we'd like to have some fun. It's a bowl game. And again, I go back to Chris Peterson. Think of all the times Boise State, and then when he was at Washington, always had, he's fundamentally sound offensively, but always a trick play in a big moment.
And for Florida, incredible discipline on the back end there.
No question. Lindsey did complete a pass during the season. Branson, good job to get out of there. Sends the pressure, takes off, gets a first down, and a big hit at the end.
Oh, and he flexes.
Torrance and Marshall came in as he started to slide. Branson hops right to his feet.
It's hard not to fall in love with Branson. Showcasing his legs here. Obviously been making some big, heady IQ plays. Now he's running, taking a big shot, and bouncing right back up.
And look at man-to-man coverage.
Personal
Nobody's
foul.
spying.
Late hit on the defense.
Backs turned to the quarterback.
To the end of the
he
run.
Takes off and runs.
The distance to
and
the
there's
goal line.
Torrance, who's been hitting everybody that's moving in black and orange with the hit that draws the penalty.
That's just standard there. Quarterback going down. You can't take a shot at him. He can learn a lot about the quarterback whenever he eats one of those shots.
Yep.
I'm sure his teammates all know he's incredibly tough, but taking that, eating that, getting up, flexing, that goes a long way for a long time with a lot of guys.
Especially as a young quarterback. You know, he's now become more of a veteran. This is his 8th game. Here comes the big man. They get inside close to that 10-yard line.
The fake punt extraordinaire, special teamer, the jackhammer in at fullback.
From the 12-yard line, they're going to run behind him, but dead ball foul. There was some movement.
Yeah.
You want to be the nail when the jackhammer's coming through? You don't.
False start. Offense number 14. 5-yard penalty. First down.
You guys talked about Gulbranson, his toughness. You know, it's hard when you come to a team that had success last year. You become the quarterback mid-season, and even though the guy's graduated, it's a redshirt freshman, and to win over the team can't be easy in the middle of the season when, again, it's a group that was building and had some success last year.
Especially when you have the returning quarterback from last year with Chance Nolan. Early in the year, you know, he had some turnovers. He ends up getting injured. That opens the door for him, and he's led in his way. You know, he's not an overly demonstrative, vocal, crazy kind of guy. He's a young player, but he you know, like you just said, he scrambles, picks up a first down, gets hit late, stands up, not afraid.
It's a message to the whole team.
2-yard gain for Fenwick. Let's get an update on Lindsay from Laura.
Guys, they just took Tyjon Lindsey into the Oregon State locker room. He was walking within his own power, but they swiftly took him into the locker room, so we'll keep an eye and see if he comes back out.
He landed on that shoulder on that pass downfield where he tried to catch it with one hand. So 2nd down and 12. Florida's defense trying to come up big and hold Oregon State to 3. Gulbranson to the end zone, and it's caught for a touchdown by Bolden.
What a stud. He's been everything for him today.
Second team all Pac-12 receiver. His 4th touchdown catch of the season. That was an impressive drive. He had the fake punt.
See the inside right there route by 13 Irish held to safety in the middle of the field. And then a good job of putting that ball on the line by Gulbranson, because you float that a little bit, allows the safety to come over and make a play on it.
Extra point just sneaks inside that left upright. And with Florida that struggled offensively in the first half, now down 17-0 after this dime by Gulbranson. And Bolden able to hang on to it despite the hit from Trey Dean.
The SRS Distribution Las Vegas Bowl is brought to you by Las Vegas, the greatest arena on earth. MGM Rewards. Earn points on every game-winning celebration. Visit MGMRewards.com for details. And Capital One. What's in your wallet?
And welcome back to the desert. Las Vegas, Nevada, entertainment capital of the world. 17-0 Oregon State.
Benny the Beaver there, having the time of his life in Sin City.
It's Benny, huh?
Yeah, I met Benny the Beaver earlier. Good handshake. A lot of movement with the hands as a hello. Didn't say a peep, but up 17 zip right now. Got to be feeling pretty good if you're that Beaver.
He's doing his job. He's not supposed to say anything.
That Florida offense, I think we have a graphic on it where it's been since 9:52 to go in the second quarter. 6 plays, 5 yards, 2 punts. Now we go. Got to get things going here, Florida.
Oregon State, by the way, had 32 plays during that same stretch. ETN short of the 20-yard line. Coming up next on ESPN, our bowl quadruple header rolls on with Rice and Southern Miss in the Lending Tree Bowl. Then it's North Texas, Boise State in the Frisco Bowl, presented by Serve Pro. Both games on the ESPN app. What are some other bowl games you guys are looking forward to? Obviously, the 2 semifinals are the marquee games. You got Alabama, Kansas State in the Sugar.
I always love to see a team like Kansas State playing a big behemoth like Alabama. Everybody's thinking, oh, Alabama should take care of them. But as we always know, that's a game to be careful of if you're Alabama.
Deuce Vaughn.
Jack Miller throwing it downfield, and man, he had a receiver. Caleb Douglas was open. Miller making his first career start and getting his first snaps as a Florida Gator, misfired.
There was a time where he was 6 of 6 in this game, and seems like so long ago because they've been so inefficient, but if he connects on this ball, this could spur everything. Had it whole, had it open, just a miss.
Yeah, and
got to line back up.
When he hit 6 of 6, I just felt he was more decisive, more rhythmic. Ball was coming out with confidence. Even there, it looked like he was hesitant, kind of waiting. Affected his timing.
All it takes is one, though. One big play.
Miller on the move and almost throws another interception. Right, he did that on the sideline in the first half and was almost picked off. That was Oladapo who almost got it.
That's the big thing about quarterbacks. You have to be able to learn from your mistakes and not do it again. In the first half, same exact situation. Play was dead. Everybody's covered. Throw that ball to Chris Angel, who works at a hotel down the street. Don't even put that thing anywhere near a potential interception. But young quarterback learning as he goes. You'd hope he wouldn't make the same mistake twice.
But that effort there by Oladapo almost came up with that.
First team all Pac-12 safety from Happy Valley, Oregon. In trouble, Miller sacked back at the 19-yard line. Jaden Robinson, the cornerback coming off the edge, knifes him down at the 14. Punt coming up, 3-and-out Florida.
You know, they brought pressure here with a linebacker and a corner, just trying to dial it up. This is their plan all along against an inexperienced quarterback, is you bring the pressure from the inside with a backer one, Spates, and then it frees it up. There's no one left there for the corner who's able to get there with Jaden Robinson. So another 3-and-out for this Florida offense.
Great disguise there by Jaden Robinson. O-line had no clue he was coming. Came a little bit late, big-time sack. Another punt for Florida.
Crawshaw from his goal line, and it's blocked. Ball is loose at the 2-yard line. And picked up there at the 6. I think Coletto got it. Jack Coletto's done everything. He was the one that blocked it. Recovered by Skylar Thomas, and Oregon State's going to have the ball inside the Florida 10.
He might have hit his own guy, too. Definitely the jackhammer in the vicinity.
Yeah, he's here, but watch this off the edge, Pat. Nobody picks up the right side. They just come free. They collapse down. There's 12 in the middle. I think you're right. It may have gone up against his own guy.
So Crawshaw here rolling across his body to the left as opposed to the normal roll to the right. Took him a little stutter step. I believe the pressure got too close. He might have hit his own guy there.
Yeah. Off the shoulder pad.
Dante Zanders.
Yeah. But they completely whiff on the right side.
Yeah, they're hoping they're running away from that, I think.
Yeah.
The old roll left with a right-footed punter I haven't seen before.
Gulbranson into double coverage. Almost pulled in by Bolden, who's a little slow to get up in the back of the end zone. You had both Miguel Mitchell and Jaden Hill in coverage.
What a huge play. Are you kidding me? Florida was finally able to kind of get off the field defensive-wise. And then blocked punt. Oregon State's got the ball at the 10, inside the 10.
And think about these injuries that they had. You remember Harrison was not able to play today, the receiver. Gold's out, he's injured, he can't play. Now we have Lindsey out. So really Bolton, one of the tight ends, the only experience they really have.
Yeah, Coletto in at fullback for 2nd down and goal. From the 7-yard line, flag down, Fenwick grabbed by big Des Watson at 415 pounds. Short gain, maybe a half yard. Let's see what the flag's about. Looks like it's on Oregon State.
Illegal formation on the offense. More than 4 players in the backfield. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
We talked about Desmond Watson there, and I've been waiting all game to chit-chat about this particular man. Number 21 for the Gators. He is 6'5", 415, 420. Started the season, 460 pounds. Okay? He's been going to work.
Say that again. 460.
Yeah, you hear 360, you're like, oh, that's a big guy. Add another bill on that.
Said he's been working hard. He got down and worked hard during camp after practice, extra running, down to 420.
It's 40 pounds weight difference since the beginning of the season. That's incredibly hard work. But that is a massive man who just got a chance to get his hands on somebody and throw him to the ground. He's going to be a force going forward.
Said he's in the best shape of his life. Really worked hard to be able to play as many downs as he has this year. Gulbranson on the quarterback draw. Touchdown, Oregon State.
We were just talking about Big Des. The center for Oregon State does an incredible job using his leverage against him. Big big hole for Gulbranson to skirt through.
And watch the backers. Last thing they're really expecting is Gulbranson, not shown a lot of this year. No one to even block for Newell, leading the way.
Think about what's transpired the last, as that extra point's no good.
Oh, no.
They were off the field. Florida's defense was off the field. It was 10-0, but then the fake punt, they scored a touchdown. They score another touchdown after the block punt, and now you're down 23-0.
23 zip is certainly a boat race here at the Vegas Bowl, and coming into it, the whole conversation was this is old school versus new school. Florida's got a lot of opt-outs for the NFL, and they're trying to build up their program. And I assume they're going to use transfers and everything like that. Oregon State was looking for a record-setting day for them. They have everybody sticking around, building it for the long haul, and it's obviously being showcased here in front of everybody to watch.
I'm a big believer, and I think all you guys would agree, in this era, which team can find motivation to play in these bowl games is going to win the game. And Oregon State, you just said, only the third time in the history of their program, they could say, hey guys, if we win this game, we get to 10 wins. It only happened 3 times. And you got Florida, their incentive is, hey, we've lost 2 in a row. We've got all these opt-outs and guys that are not playing, guys that are injured, guys that have transferred. Give the younger players a chance. But the last thing that they could afford to do was get down early, dig themselves a hole after 2 straight losses.
I talked to Jordan Poyer, obviously with the Buffalo Bills, Oregon State Beaver grad. Yeah. I talked to Johnny Hecker, currently with the Panthers, obviously a Hall of Fame punter, formerly of the Oregon State. They're talking about this is the biggest game in decades for Oregon State. And you talk to Florida people, they're like, we're in the Vegas Bowl and we're trying to build something. So, I mean, it was almost the writing was on the wall, but a lot of football left to be played.
ETN past the 25 and out near the 29. Let's take a look at today's performance update prepared by Tax Act.
Is this going to be? It is. 5th-year senior, playing on offense, defense, and special teams. The Jack Hammer, Jack Coletto, holding a chainsaw because that's exactly what he does. He buzzes through football games at every position, tackling the quarterback, on special teams, locking up Wingo, headhunting afterwards, as a quarterback, snapping the ball through his legs, getting the ball on a fake punt. The man is everywhere. He is everything that is great in football. He is the jackhammer, Dave Pash.
Here's a run play to Montrell Johnson, stood up by Omar Spates, a loss of 2.
He was obviously a massive part of this. Coming in off the right side, number 18 thought he had to bounce back and get him because he's such a menace. Punts the ball right off his shoulder. Jack Coletto is not only a game changer and a game wrecker, he's a game anomaly. There's not a lot of these guys just growing on trees. We should take him in. We should enjoy this, even though it's 23 zip. The jackhammer's putting on a show.
That's absolutely right. It's so cool to see a guy that does all those things for his team. As Johnson, trying to shake tacklers, runs out of room. Pushed out by Fisher Morris at the 32. 3rd and 7.
When you get going like that, it just comes to you?
I just get so excited.
It just comes to you.
Just as the highlights,
I could tell.
As the highlights were rolling on the screen,
like, oh, here we go.
It was like it's 2022. You don't have a lot of that. You got people specializing in sports these days. You got kids so worried about doing one thing. And here we have the jackhammer at the Vegas Bowl, the biggest bowl outside the college football playoff, doing it all. Showcasing that you're allowed to play other sports, you're allowed to play other positions, do your thing, play football. That's a beautiful story, the jackhammer.
On 3rd and 7, they need a completion, and they get it. Caleb Douglas, good tackle by Alex Austin, but it's a 1st down. Let's check in with Laura for more.
Yeah, I was talking to Jack Hammer at practice yesterday, and I said, listen, you're kind of a quiet guy. Like, you don't really fit your name. He goes, oh, no. When I put that uniform on, it's my alter ego. Jack Hammer comes out. The second the uniform comes on, and he said, otherwise, I'm just very normal and professional. He really was, guys. I was kind of shocked.
Flips the switch.
He sure does.
It's like Luke Kuechly. I met him one time out of the field. Yep. Nicest guy ever. Had glasses bobbled by Jack Miller.
Miller able to slip 1 tackle and then pushed out after a gain of 3 by Robinson.
Luke gets on a football field, flips the switch, loses his mind, just runs his face into everything he possibly can, and then comes off the field, puts glasses back on. Super nice. It's an incredible thing, and when you have it, it's certainly a weapon. And Coach Napier's finding out that you mess with the jackhammer, you know, you're going to have a long day in Vegas. Everybody relax.
I think they're going to make a billboard of that. Second and
just one after another.
23 zip.
Miller dumping it off, and in trouble is Montrell Johnson and throw him down for loss. Spates and Fisher Morris on the takedown. It's a loss of 7.
Well, this is nice. Again, mixing up zone, some man. Omar Spates, who's kind of the leader of this defense. Watch him just kind of feel this. You know, they're trying to take away Florida, trying to hit a quick hitter downfield. So when you do, the guys underneath have to have closing speed. Spates anticipating that throw and just takes Montrell Johnson out. Nothing he could do after that catch.
Heard some chatter about, you know, Pac-12. How can you hang with SEC athletes? This Oregon State defense has been flying to the ball.
They have had 7 negative plays on defense. Miller, another one. Number 8, Sione Lolohea with the sack.
Well, they love to blitz Oladapo. He's done it all year. This time they bring he and Spates together right up the middle, and Oladapo, the one who gets home and forces him out of the pocket. See how frustrated Miller is walking off the field.
Look at that, 12 plays, -6 yards, 3 punts since early in the second quarter. They did get a first down on that drive. It was their first since the first quarter.
And that's a combination of an inexperienced quarterback and a really, really good defense that's played like this most of the year.
And a collision there as 2 Oregon State players collided. I don't think that either touched the football, but it's going to get downed inside the 5.
They bounce back after that block. Hit a big ball, have so much hang time. Make 2 guys run into each other, hits the ground, rolls down to the 1. That's beautifully executed by the Florida Gators punt team that just gave up a massive block beforehand.
It's bowl time in Las Vegas.
Alongside Todd Christensen, I'm Steve Levy. Thoughts from Heather Cox in just a little bit.
Thankfully, they eschewed the showgirl hats that they wanted to wear.
Looking for a little fun, folks? You have come to the right place. Well, Kirk Herbstreit, I'm Brent Musburger. So nice to have you along with us here tonight.
So, Pat, what do you think? You are now in the pantheon of legendary announcers here.
Let's just talk about his face. It has not changed. You look just as good now 30 years later as you did then, pal. How about it?
It was 12 years.
Oh, okay. 27 years on game day. I apologize, but it's an honor to be here. The Vegas Bowl has been fantastic. It truly has. And obviously to call a game with you and with you is a dream come true. I'm lucky to be here.
You're destroying it. You having fun calling games?
I certainly ruined it. You have done a great job. I feel like I'm smarter because of you.
No, you're destroying this. This is, you're enjoying calling. You did Thursday nights for a long time.
Yeah, people say I lack couth in the booth, and that might be the truth, but I'm having a blast, and that's really what I'm trying to portray through the microphone.
Well, you look good, and that's the most important part.
Yeah. It's Vegas, baby.
It really doesn't matter how you sound, as long as you look good.
Well, that's what, you know, commentating is for, right? It's in the name.
Here's Fenwick, ripped to the ground at the 9-yard line, so 3rd down coming up.
Missed a couple big-time plays there. I'll tell you what, you need to get to Vegas, though, if you haven't been in some time. It is remarkable out here. Honestly, Chris Angel, shirtless on the side of a... Oh, man, this is not good. Wingo's a great ball player.
Remember, he was starting for Ventrell Miller, who decided not to play in this game.
Chris Angel, David Blaine does a show out here. Adele had a concert out here last night. Jerry Seinfeld's performing out here.
Kirk, you've done this. How many years now have you done this bowl game? Was 2010 the first one that that we showed with Brett?
Like 11 or 12 years.
To tell what happened there to Wingo.
Awkward shot there from the side on the hip. Full speed.
But this is a game where, especially for a program like Oregon State, you win this game, you get to 10 wins, you build some momentum. We talked already about Coletto, a guy that, you know, you can kind of, hey, this is the type of guy, player, person we're looking for our program. And
yeah. And I think that's what a lot of these bowl games are, where some people look at the current season. I look at the momentum that it potentially creates for a program like Oregon State. And even if Florida were to win this game after losing 2 straight, feels a little better winning a game going into those winter conditioning, those early morning lifts, compared to losing 3 straight to Vandy, Florida State, and then potentially today to Oregon State. So all these bowl games, you're looking at momentum for a program.
Much different vibes as we enter the transfer portal time of year as well.
Lindsey able to get the first down before he's grabbed and thrown down by Shamar James. That was an important first down there for Oregon State. Well, Branson playing well.
You know, we've seen more from his legs than I thought we might. You know, he's not done a lot since he's taken over these last 8 games with his legs. And today, it's not that it's monster numbers, but it's been effective. The quarterback draw and a couple scrambles.
Everybody always acts like game manager is a bad thing.
That's
That's all you want your quarterback to be.
Yeah.
Out in space to Silas Bolden. Gets the first down. Outrunning defenders, including Kamari Wilson, for a gain of 15.
Yeah, it's a run to the left, but he has the option, if he has soft coverage, to be able to throw this ball out to the right. So see how their offensive line, everybody's running that play to the left. They have no idea that Cole Branson looked out, saw soft coverage, and flipped it out to his favorite target today, Bolden.
Pre-med, you said, Go Branson?
Yes.
Already graduated.
That's like we're talking medicine?
Correct.
Yeah.
That's like big brain, big brain. And he showcased it plenty of times here.
Fenwick, again, hard run. Not afraid of contact at all. Gets the first down. Tonight, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on ABC, SMU and BYU in the New Mexico Bowl. You can also watch it on the ESPN app. Of course, 2 weeks from today, we have the 2 semifinals of the college football playoff. Got TCU and Michigan in the game you'll be doing, Kirk. Georgia and Ohio State.
Yeah, a lot of talk about Georgia, of course. You said earlier, defending national champs. I think we all agree they've been the most consistent team all year. And then you got Ohio State that would admit themselves how frustrated things were against Michigan, the way that game got away from them, but they still make it into the playoff.
Bill Branson completion to John Dunmore into Florida territory. You think C.J. Stroud's good enough to go in there and win a game against Georgia?
Yeah, I think if you're just looking at his skill set, absolutely, and he's got great receivers. The thing is, the offensive line. You know, will Ohio State be able to run the ball, and will they be able to protect C.J. Stroud? Those are the 2 things on that side of the ball, the matchup.
And they gave up 3 explosive touchdowns to Michigan that really blew that whole thing open. Georgia has explosion all across the board, including that tight end they have.
2 tight ends.
Yeah, Brock and Darnell.
Incomplete pass. Overman, the intended receiver.
I mean, they're ranked 4. They're taking on number 1. So it's expected that Georgia's going to be favored. Maybe they get it. But TCU, Michigan, that game, I guess we'll stick here in Georgia. But, like, Stetson becomes a Heisman finalist, undefeated, national champion already, 25 years old. And then C.J. Stroud, obviously coming into the year, everybody thought he was going to win it. Has a couple games where he's not as amazing or spectacular. Can rewrite a lot of narratives here in the college football playoff for Ohio State. Hey, they were coming for him after that loss to Michigan.
You would think.
Weren't they?
Yeah.
Like, all of Ohio was coming for everybody.
Yeah, for sure.
Fenwick inside the 40. Oh, Pat, you were going there on Michigan TCU.
That's how it works.
Dude, Ohio State, this team.
When they lose.
Top 2 in the country all year. Top 2 in the country. Top 2 in the country. They lose to Michigan at home for the first time since, what, 1990-something? Man, Ryan Day, I thought he wasn't going to be coaching football ever again with the way the reaction was over there in Ohio. Yeah, now they're in a college football playoff. A whole nother season for him, a little extra life. TCU, Michigan, though. There's some big bodies. How about what Duggan did in that Big 12 championship game? They'd lose, but he put the team on his back there at the end of that thing.
Sure did.
Got a good college football playoff coming up.
By the way, Fenwick is over 100 yards. Jack Coletto is in, taking the direct snap. And short yardage, he gets the first down to the 32-yard line.
It's Taysom Hill. It's classic football. We got a better player than you do. We can put him at every position. He's tough. He's gritty. He can seize the field well like a quarterback. I love this jackhammer.
Not to mention, as we get to the end of this 3rd quarter, they're wearing down that Florida defense, mentally and physically.
4's up, Dave. It's 4th quarter. And guess what, Florida? You got some jackhammer to deal with for another 15 minutes. 23-zip in Vegas. 4th quarter on the other side.
This season, All-State will celebrate every field goal and extra point made by participating universities by making a donation to the university's General Scholarship Fund. Thank you, All-State. Dave Pasch, Pat McAfee, Kirk Herbstreit, and Laura Rutledge back here in Las Vegas. SRS Distribution Las Vegas Bowl. Florida getting shut out 23-0. That does not happen. The Gators have the longest streak in FBS without getting shut out. 1988 was the last time against Auburn. 435 consecutive games without getting shut out. And it might get worse. Oregon State's on the move at the Florida 32. This drive started inside the 10. Broken tackle. Fenwick dives to the 27-yard line.
Oregon State's going to continue to impose their will here, too. This is what they do. This is the type of game they want to have. It being 23-0 at this point in the game, not good for Florida.
And there's Wingo, who's been trying to play through the pain and is down again.
Shoulder, apparently. Doctor.
All right, we'll step away. Come back in a moment. 4 years for Florida football with Steve Spurrier at the helm. They won the national championship in '96, and also after that, Urban Meyer won 2 championships, 2006 and 2008. Since 11 seasons, you've had now 4 different head coaches: Will Muschamp, Jim McElwain, Dan Mullen, and now Billy Napier in his first season. And they were at 6-4, but then a loss to Vandy, lost to Florida State, now getting blown out in the bowl game.
Yeah, 23-0 against Oregon State, and obviously first year for Billy Napier down there, but tough times to be a Gator, Herbie.
Yeah, tough times. It's a proud program. I mean, you just saw what Steve Spurrier and Urban Meyer were able to accomplish. Dan Mullen had some good moments too, and the last year not so good, and now this start for Billy Napier. To do it right, we were talking about how Oregon State did it the right way, building it slowly. Problem is, in Gainesville and the state of Florida, Gators fans, they want it right now. They don't have patience. After everything that they've been through, they want to see this team win, and to potentially lose the last 3 with a first-year head coach, there's going to be a lot of noise on the social media world about where this program is right now.
And really unknown at quarterback. Anthony Richardson off to the NFL. Jalen Kitna dismissed from the team. Is it going to be Jack Miller? Is it somebody out of the portal? Is it somebody in the recruiting class? As Silas Bolden catch and run, stays in bounds and upended inside the 5. It'll be first and goal for Oregon State.
I love Silas Bolden. I love the way he plays. I love the way Go Branson is kind of taking this thing over. This Oregon State offense has been dominant in the trenches, and then they get wide open plays where their best player can be in space. Massive gain, in position to score again.
Yeah, I mean, you had 2 open receivers. Florida completely out of position there. And a good play call there, staying 1 step ahead of this Gator defense, is Brian Lindgren, who's done a great job all year as a play caller.
Let's keep our eyes on that fullback. There's a jackhammer side him.
Instead, misdirection pitch and stiff arming, and into the end zone for the touchdown is Jam Griffin.
Oregon State, 1-on-1 in the outfield. Debo's a man. Boom, into the end zone.
Great job of getting in there by Griffin, and man, I mean, if there's ever a play that kind of embodies the way this day went for Florida, it's right here. Trey Dean is one of the leaders. Like this is a one-on-one drill in practice, and you get that stiff arm and eat it, and it's a touchdown again for the Beavs.
It was a 98-yard drive that took 6.5 minutes off the clock. The extra point makes it 30-0, Oregon State.
Would be the first time since 1988 that the Gators could get shut out here. This is a dog walk. And Jam Griffin. Dominant touchdown run. What a dog, dude. What a dog.
Selected underprivileged children opportunity to pick out some new shoes while getting a chance to enjoy some fun activities here in Las Vegas.
Making the world a better place. Always enjoy that type of stuff. Good on all the teams participating.
Let's see if Florida can finish this game with something positive. They have 98 yards. They've had like 7 yards since the first quarter. Here's Etienne on the return, and even that's troublesome. Everything is hard for Florida right now. Monday Night Football this week features Aaron Rodgers and the Packers taking on the Rams, led by Baker Mayfield. Game time 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, ESPN and ABC, ESPN Deportes, ESPN Plus, Manning Cast, ESPN2, Aaron Rodgers' 20th Monday Night Football game.
It's going to put on a show there. Always loves a good primetime matchup. The Super Bowl champs, the Rams, certainly not having the season that anybody could have expected. Worst in the history, but Baker Mayfield back.
How's Aaron been on those Tuesdays?
It's been a little different this year than years past.
Different vibe, all those MVP seasons back-to-back.
Yeah, and then obviously they were winning a lot. Now they're still in it. Not mathematically eliminated at all. They can still get going, but it's certainly been a different year this year.
You're really becoming a media personality there, Pat. All that work on game day is paying off for you, but
really,
it's always fun being the
shot. I feel like that was a shot. I do feel like that was a shot.
That's not at all. We realize, listen, we had a lot to play for, but we also need some help. We can't control that part, but we got 3 out of 4 at home.
Look at that.
Was that a shot?
Yeah, because I asked him a question about it after the last game against the Bears. He said, you never know when it's going to be the last one. So I said, were you alluding to it? Oh, big play by Jack Miller. Is this too little too late? Who knows? But he thought I was alluding to, I was being like a journalist, like a media question, like I was trying to get. So he said, you're trying to turn it into a media personality on game day. I was like, ooh, that feels like a shot. It was not a shot. He was joking. He has an incredible personality, although people think he does not. Him not being mathematically eliminated is a problem to the entire NFC. I think he's going to continue to fight. Christian Watson has really developed and come on here as of late. And hopefully they get a win in Lambeau on Monday Night Football and keep that thing going.
28-yard pass play. Longest play of the day.
That's another one of those.
Some movement. What about Baker Mayfield? What do you guys think is next for Baker?
You were there. Snap infraction on the offense, number 65. 5-yard penalty.
I feel like the Rams the last 2 weeks have found an identity with running the football and play action. I mean, Baker ends up stealing the show here with the theatrics at the end. And nobody would have thought that a guy there for essentially 36 hours to learn an offense. I was like, how's he calling the plays? Forget executing. How's he just calling the play?
And they say he has like a photographic memory, so he's able to learn. And that's amazing because he headbutts people who have helmets on while not having a helmet. His brain has stayed intact. That was an electrifying performance as we get a pass interference down the field here. This is what Florida's been looking for the last 3 quarters.
Tell you, Miller, too, took a big shot, hung in there, almost had to complete the Pearsall. That's going to be
pass interference. Defense number 4, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
So now the ball in plus territory and a chance for Florida to finally get some points.
Well, Pearsall is their guy downfield that can make plays, ball underthrown, and as you often see when the DB doesn't see the football, he doesn't adjust back, and there's the big hit that Miller takes. But they've been coming after him, and a lot of times it's Omar Spates, the middle linebacker, that's blitzing and hitting him.
Spates, really good player. First team all Pac-12, their leading tackler. He's from Philadelphia. Went to high school in Oregon. Junior, who's their vocal leader out of that group. Run play, ETN grounded after a gain of 1 by James Rawls.
You know, Trent Bray, the defensive coordinator we touched on earlier in the game, think of the job that he's done. I think the difference between this program, where they are now and where they were 3 or 4 or 5 years ago, is clearly the defense. I mean, they gave up 45 points in the first year in 2018 when this new regime took over with Jonathan Smith. Bray gets hired November of last year in the season, and he's an aggressive guy, had the entire offseason to get ready, and it's really paid off this year for this defense.
To your point, Kirk, the last 7
False
games.
start. Offense number 18. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Last 7 games, they've given up 17 points per game. That's 10th best in the country, and they're pitching a shutout tonight.
Yeah, and I think a big part of it is identifying your assignment and playing as a group. And I just did a San Francisco-Seattle game, and I know you guys watch them, Dave. You see them all the time. The 49ers play as a team defense. And that's what this Oregon State team does on this side of the ball. There aren't a lot of superstars. There's a couple individuals that maybe get on the all-conference recognition list, but this is a team that understands this scheme, and I think they've gotten more aggressive in this second year of understanding it a little bit better, too.
And to your point, Coach Smith said that the team is the star around here in Oregon State. The defense is certainly a beautiful depiction of that.
Miller has some running room here. Nice cut. Keep the play alive and get a first down. Well, Bray, like Jonathan Smith, played at Oregon State. Played after Smith did. He was a player 2002 to 2005.
And I think there's a certain level of investment that you can't find if you don't play for a team. So bringing back players into the program, building it up how you would like it to be seen, how it was. I like what they're doing, man. I really like this Oregon State team.
And don't you think that right now, kind of like, Dave, when you do college basketball, there might be a team that you cover that's got 4 freshmen and a sophomore, and 3 of them are ahead of the NBA, and they maybe make it to the Final Four, but there's always that team that has 4 seniors and a junior, and somehow Butler or whoever it is makes a run, and they don't maybe have the same talent individually, but they play together as a group. That's what these developmental teams in college can do. And Oregon State is a great example of developing players and moving them through the ranks.
When you look at their history, you know, from 1969 to 1999, they weren't even ranked. And then they had that great year in 2000, led by their current head coach, Jonathan Smith. They're ranked this year for the first time since 2013. They're 14th right now. It'll be interesting to see where they end up ranked at the end of the year.
And again, I think we all agree, they're not going away. This program it just feels like they built it and it's going to be around for a while.
He just signed a 6-year extension too. Oregon State's investing in it.
And another flag. How about with USC and the way UCLA's playing, leaving the Pac-12? The door's open for a school like Oregon State.
5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
I mean, with the expansion, you win the Pac-12, you're in the college football playoff.
Do we know what's going to happen with the Pac-12 in the future? Have we figured that out? Like the assumption is that a couple more teams might be joining on the way out, maybe potentially joining the Big Ten. I have no idea what's real and what's not, but you just sense you're concerned a little bit about what the future is for this conference, because we all love it.
Dave, I don't know if you view this the same way I do, but Herbstreit, you're the face of college football. So if you have no idea, we have no idea. You know more people than we do. But you're right, though. The Pac-12's future is certainly in jeopardy right now. How will they save it? What will they become? Power 5 still a real thing?
Jack Miller stepping out. They'll go for it here in 4th down and about 2.
I do like to see that. I felt like the defense when we went to the break, it's like, man, I think the defense has shut things down. The offense came back here after being down 30. This game's over, but Miller's doing everything that he can to try to stay in this game and get some points on the board anyway. At least they're competing.
This is a 60-yard drive. They had 98 yards total before this drive.
Pass interference, obviously a big part of it, but they did have a completion and moved it.
Good point.
Now we're in scoring position.
But 4th and 2, or they might get shut out if they don't pick this up.
Oh, no.
Montrell Johnson dumped in the backfield. That is a snapshot of this entire game. Oregon State in the backfield on the snap.
In the huddle before the play, it felt like.
James Rawls, what a play. 6'2", 282. Really a leader, one of the leaders of this defense. Watch him over the right guard, just anticipating, able to shoot through this gap and get into the backfield before this play had a chance at all. And I remember, we got a young guy in weights there trying to make a block, but he looked confused against the quickness there of Rawls. Great play.
Drive recap brought to you by Easy Post. Oregon State, another damn good season for the Beavers here, trying to get their 3rd 10-win season. With Jonathan Smith at quarterback, they won 11 games back in 2000. And then in 2006, they went 10-4, had a win over USC. This year, comeback win over Oregon. They were down 21 in that game. They've won 6 of their last 7, about to be 7 of 8, and finishing the year winning their last 4. Well, Florida's going to end the season losing its last 3. Irish on the jet sweep. Broken tackle, 1st down.
They've just been doing whatever they want here.
Yep.
And that's obviously a massive shout out to Coach Smith and what they've been able to turn around here at Oregon State.
And look at that, 9-22 the first 3 seasons.
Get them out, I bet.
Well, it helps being in Corvallis, where the noise isn't as loud, and it allows the athletic department to say, you know what, we believe in this guy. He played here. Give him time to build it the right way. You just wonder, a guy like Billy Napier at Florida, they're going to look at what TCU's doing this year. Well, heck, TCU, Sonny Dykes' first year, look what he did.
College football playoffs.
Yes, and I think doing it the right way with Florida, they got to clear some things out. It's going to take time to build it back up. I think Florida State right down the road in Tallahassee, Mike Norvell, really good example of what they were facing on the back end of Jimbo Fisher. I'm sure their fans wanted a quick fix, but it's taken some time to find a Jordan Travis and to find the right pieces. And now all of a sudden they've become a great story. They'd be a team you would not want to play right now if we had a 12-team playoff. But it took time to build it up.
I think one of our sources told us that Florida would be patient with Coach Napier, but what about the fans? And that's kind of what runs a lot of things these days.
Well, the internet that you like to track from time to time.
I do love the internet.
There's
some bad with the internet, of course.
But I'm saying the bad might be.
It gets loud.
False start.
It might be toxic.
Offense number
when it comes
67.
to the blue and orange for the next few days.
5-yard penalty. Second down.
When you
30
say.
zip right now.
I know. And they lost to Vandy and Florida State. Now this.
Coming up next.
Be good.
At ESPN Lending Tree Bowl, Rice Southern Miss, Frisco Bowl presented by Serve Pro to follow, with Boise State taking on North Texas. 2 weeks from today, we get New Year's 6 games, and 2 college football playoff semifinals will end at January 9th. Monday night, SoFi Stadium, college football playoff national championship.
30-0. Oregon State.
Gulbranson hit as he throws ball. Batted and incomplete. Bolden couldn't hang on, and Gulbranson again hops to his feet after taking a hit.
You know, the Vegas Bowl is being billed as the greatest bowl game outside of the college football playoff, and I think we're right about one side of it. Oregon State has certainly showed up on the offensive side and defensive side.
Pat, you made a comment about Gulbranson early about just kind of a heady performance today. Really wonder with Jonathan Smith, who made it pretty clear, I think, that they may look at the portal just to, if nothing else, provide depth with Chance Nolan leaving. Man, he may have really helped himself today with his performance against the SEC defense of being the guy next year.
That pass incomplete. Tried to hit Velling, so it's 4th down. Oregon State will punt.
7-1 now as a starting quarterback after coming in. And, you know, I think this is the best he's looked all year with the way he's moved around.
And it's 30-0. We got to remember, 2 series he was not playing because he was completely cool with a little tip of the cap to the senior Jebbia for everything he's done for the program. Imagine if he gets 2 more series. Who knows what his numbers, what the score would be. He is really impressed. This guy bombs balls here. Luke
Loescher.
Of course, punted the laces, hardest part of the ball.
Look at that
one. Who cares?
And it checks up at the 9-yard line.
Get the ball.
It sounded that you must
have backwards.
That must have driven you nuts back in the day, though, when guys would run by the ball like that.
Yeah, let's stop it from bouncing the wrong ways. But that punter just punted the laces of that thing a country mile here in Cincinnati.
56 yards.
Bomb. Exactly, Dave. That it.
Saturday, December 31st on ESPN and the ESPN app. It's the college football playoff semifinals. Verbo Fiesta Bowl, Michigan TCU, Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, Georgia Ohio State. We mentioned earlier, winners meet Monday, Jan 9 on ESPN. Lots of different ways. Obviously, watch Kirk Herbstreit, Chris Fowler on the main telecast of the national championship, as well as the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. ESPN2 Field Pass with Pat McAfee.
Hey, how about it?
How about that?
Can't wait to get out there. Got some boys roaming the sidelines at the Fiesta Bowl. We're going to be down there at the Peach Bowl, having the time of our lives.
Miller back out there, dumps it off to Odom. It's a 1st down out near the 29, and Odom is down now for the Gators.
He's grabbing that right knee. Look, at the end of that play, just kind of looked like he gets pushed and just gave up on it. Just kind of went down. Must have felt that pain right away. It seemed bizarre near the end of the play. Gets pushed and then
right there.
Yeah,
the cut back in bounds, bracing for the hit.
Right away.
Always scary. Those types of injuries are scary.
Now surrounded by concerned teammates. All right, we'll be back in 10 seconds after a message from Ally.
How your team puts together a game plan is how you want to handle your money. That's why we're all better off with an Ally. Back to you.
All right, so while they look at Odom, we talked earlier about Georgia being the team to beat. Who has the best chance to dethrone Georgia, you think?
I mean, Michigan, you have to. Obviously, we're just going by the rankings then, and that can be a very boring conversation. But if you watch what Michigan did to Ohio State, I mean, they bullied them. And that's the type of team you're going to have to play if you're going to want to beat Georgia. Georgia's big everywhere, fast everywhere. They got an experienced quarterback who has the confidence and the composure to kind of do it all. I think Michigan has enough firepower and meat, I feel like, to keep up with Georgia personally.
See, I don't know if they bullied Ohio State until the 4th quarter where they gave up those 2 big runs.
Gotcha.
I think it was a pretty competitive game when you go back and look at it. It was just Ohio State's defense gave up those big runs by Donovan Edwards, and it gave off a perception of, wow, they just got destroyed at the line of scrimmage. I think they didn't tackle well late in the game and looked like they kind of shut it down defensively. But I think of all the teams,
you like Ohio State?
I think Ohio State's a wild card just because of the ability that they have. And before that Michigan game, everybody was talking about them as a team to look out for. They still have a lot of talent, but where will their mindset be after that Michigan game going into that, I think, is going to be the thing to watch.
Let's bring in Laura from the field.
Yeah, guys, just spending some time with Kirby Smart and that Georgia team, and we'll be with them through the playoff. And Kirby's big message is, you guys are a team that won the SEC championship instead of last year's team that didn't. That was their big motivation last year going into the college football playoff. He was really challenging this team on Selection Sunday. Hey, you better find your motivation, guys, because you don't have that loss to really fuel you.
Miller in trouble, but a receiver coming back to the ball, and it's slipping is Frazier, so come up short of the line.
I really like what Laura said there, because I think the guy right now that's the best at figuring out how to work the mind of his players is Kirby Smart. He's figured out a way to get a group that has a lot of individual talent to play in the NFL, but man, he gets them to play for Georgia and play to win championships.
And they've already won a title. I mean, that's it's impossible to get people to bounce back. Once success is had, how do you maintain that? That's the hardest thing in coaching. Yeah. And it's been so quiet in Georgia. Just like, yeah, they're going to be good. They're going to be good. It's like, are they? Right. Are they going to be good? Like, is it just as easy as they're supposed to be good because they won the Natty? It's like, it almost becomes harder once you win because people can get complacent.
100%. Yeah.
And Kirby Smart hasn't done that at all the while being seemingly a cool dude on our show on game day.
He is. He is. And I think there's another guy. You talk about guys that relate to players. Yeah. Kirby Smart relates to his players. They feed off of his energy, his intensity and energy, competitive spirit.
You know, he once picked off Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
Kirby Smart.
It's wearing 16.
Miller running around in the backfield. Throws to the sideline to Frazier's, and they rule it incomplete.
Never good when that's the conversation of a game, though. You know what I mean?
Welcome to our world.
Oh, I had to do it for that megacast a couple times.
Oh, that's right. You got a taste of that.
I did.
You texted me. Because games that I was calling, you're like,
what are we doing?
What we got?
Man, it's been a good 2.5 hours of one team not scoring and the other team scoring. But that's what college football can be. That's why it's so hard to get everybody to show up every single week, 18 to 22-year-olds. It's a tough thing to keep people focused. That's why what Coach Smith is doing is so impressive. 30-0.
I think it's going to be really interesting to see where TCU is after a magical year that ends in defeat. You know, can they bounce back as Miller has to throw that away?
Yeah, good call.
And beat a good Michigan team.
And it seems like they should be at a different place mentally, losing the Big 12 championship in a game that went into overtime and they fought versus Ohio State and the way they lost their game. It's two very different endings to a season. TCU, to me, is about trying to get the game out in space and utilizing the speed that they have. And as long as you have Max Duggan, I mean,
he's a player.
You're always going to be in a game.
He put the team on his back in that Big 12 championship game at the end. But that's what TCU has done. They've come back a lot. So them not winning that one was abnormal for their season this year. Hopefully they can find that magic again. But taking on a great Michigan team.
Miller leaving the pocket again, throws a dart, complete first down to Caleb Douglas.
Hips. Did you see that?
Good
that
ball.
Was pretty. This is what the future could be, right?
Good ball. Future's right, because Caleb Douglas is on the back end of it, the 6'3" freshman who they think can really be a talented player for this offense on the perimeter next year.
That's one of those throws that somebody makes at a pro day or combine or in a game, and everybody's like, look at the throwing.
It's because of Aaron and Patrick Mahomes. And Stafford and these guys that all make that throw.
Baseball players flip those hips.
Off play action, Miller looking downfield. And again, coming open. This time it's Bowman breaking tackle. Can they get in the end zone? Out of bounds, but inside the 10. A chance to avoid the shutout here after a 38-yard play.
This is an area where he'll have a chance to grow. Watch this in the background where he gets away with it here. But watch, you'd love to see him throw it now, as opposed to later. Now you take away the ability to make the play after the catch. Now he makes a great play, but if he throws that ball earlier, he probably walks down the sideline into the end zone.
Give to ETN, bottled up at the line of scrimmage. Oregon State still fighting like it's the first quarter.
Yeah, you know this is going to be an interesting sequence of plays right here. Gators just want to get on the board and not get shut out, and Oregon State wants that shutout desperately.
Imagine this entire defensive side of the ball for Oregon State all offseason. if they pitch a shutout in the bowl game. I mean, there's a different swagger walking around.
Against an SEC team.
Oh, we're dogs.
The team with the longest streak in history.
435 consecutive games. Oregon State could have that on the wall.
And the ball's on the ground. Miller has to fall on it. Fortunate bounce that time. Who knows how that thing's going to come off the turf. It's a loss of 8. Now it's 3rd and goal from back at the 14.
This is kind of what it's been, right, Herbie?
Yep.
Big play.
Yep.
Terrible play.
It's been that, especially in the last 3 games. It's been a lot of that.
Vandy, you said? Florida State, you said?
Vandy, Florida State to end it.
4 out of the last 6?
Yeah.
They started the year great. They beat Utah.
Right.
Week 1.
Right.
AR had that jump and spin. Different place now. Where will they be next year?
3rd and goal for the 14. Miller to throw. In trouble and sacked. It's 4th and goal from the 23. Fisher Morris on the takedown.
They have blitzed these linebackers all game. Created some confusion for this offensive line that's playing without Osiris Torrance. Waits has done as good a job as he can, but there's the blitz up the middle right there. They brought pressure on the left side with Spates, and that's why it freed him up.
So do you guys kick the field goal to avoid being shut out, or are you going for it on 4th and goal from the 23? I'm just throwing that out there.
I think you got to go for it. I don't know. I mean, I would go for it.
42 seconds left.
Are they going to kick a field goal?
I think you have to kick a field goal here if you're Napier. 435 consecutive, and then at the end of your first year coaching?
First year coaching, I want to compete to the end. I don't know what's 3 points do for you at 42 seconds, other than get rid of the shutout. 30-3.
That's literally all it does.
They went backwards.
It extends to 435.
Who cares?
What if he misses? Now you chose to kick. Oh no!
Please.
It's one of the biggest kicks in the history of Florida.
Capital One post game coming up on the ESPN app. 40-yard attempt for Mahalik to avoid the shutout. Longest streak.
Sweet tags
on the line. But that's the only thing on the line right now.
It's a lot, Dave. And look at Mahalik coming through for Coach Napier and the Gators. It'll now be 436 consecutive games in which the Florida Gators have scored a point while playing football. What a kick. What a moment. Drink it down. Soak it in, Mahalik.
Oh, man.
I just personally feel like that's almost worse going into the offseason.
What's your problem? Did you not hear everything I just said?
Yeah.
It's embarrassing, right, if you're a Florida fan?
It is, man.
Embarrassing? Yeah, right. You got a kicker that steps up in one of the most pressure-packed moments in the history of football.
We got to get this in. Bowl Challenge Cup brought to you by Progressive.
Worse for the offseason. What's your problem?
30-3.
Points on the board.
Struggled in bowl games the last couple of years. This will be a huge win for the conference. And
what a kick.
I don't think Oregon State cares about that. They just care about that they're going to get it. And it's 30-3 with 37 seconds. Florida's going to try the onside kick.
I don't know how Oregon State's going to be able to respond to what Mahalik just did to them. Only win by 27. What a letdown. Way to go, Mahalik. Hair looks great, pal.
Had a kid.
That's huge. Going to the offseason, we scored points.
And Smack instead kicking it deep. Be a touchback. Oregon State will just take one knee, and I'm assuming Florida won't call a timeout, and this game will be over. Sunday, 10 a.m. Eastern, NFL Countdown. Burrow versus Brady. We're going to talk to Burrow about how he's been influenced by Tom Brady. Justin Herbert hitting the field with Matt Hasselbeck. All access inside Taylor Heineke's sneaker collection. 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN.
You got to love the NFL. Delivered on Saturdays, and it looks like, turns out, in NFL history. In the history, the largest comeback today. The Colts are up 33-0 with Jeff Saturday at halftime. And they lose 39. 36.
That's going to be a tough week for me on a microphone, but this has been an absolute joy on a microphone alongside you two.
Great
Thank
job.
you for the opportunity.
Love the jacket. Enjoyed it very much.
You can't lose up 33.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Nonetheless, it was an honor of a lifetime. Laura, you crushed it. Everybody behind the scenes, thank you all so much.
And congrats to Oregon State. Jonathan Smith, third 10-win season in the history of their school. He was a quarterback for one. Now he's the head coach. Nothing but great things ahead for the Beavers as they continue to grow and get better as a program.
No question. A program to watch in 2023 and beyond.
Yep.
They've got something going in Corvallis. Here's Laura with Coach Smith.
Coach, the third 10-win season in Oregon State history. You told your team all week long, all year long, how much this would mean. Now that it's happened, what do you think?
Well, it means a ton. I know couldn't be more proud of these players. They took the lead from all the way back in August. Fall camp, they want to be player-led and run the thing, and they've played together throughout the whole season, back and forth. Couldn't be more proud of them.
Really nice teamwork from your quarterbacks. Gulbranson in, you bring in Jebbia, who's been a team captain, and then Gulbranson back, then Jebbia even just there with the kneel down. How would you describe the way they worked together to get this win?
Yeah, they were great. You know, this team has talked about being selfless, helping each other out, and I think Tristan has helped Ben in a huge way out throughout the year. Got a little time in this game, did some solid stuff. Ben came in, played really well in the second half, finished the deal.
What did your defense show you today?
Well, flew around. I mean, aggressive, wanted to make things physical, wanted to take away the run. They accomplished all of that. That's a good offense. Schematically, they got some athletes and weapons. That O-line's good. Good effort by our defense.
The guys upstairs, big fans of the jackhammer, especially Pat McAfee. What do you think the jackhammer brings to your team?
Oh, he's been everything. You know, he's doing everything. But even in the locker room, off the field, top notch. We're going to miss him, man, because he's contributed so much. Can't wait to watch him on Sundays.
Enjoy it, Coach. Congrats.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Guys.
And Laura, he's our Capital One player of the game. It's not just because of, you know, a block here and there, but the run on fourth down, the fake punt, gets credited for the block punt. He was also in there as a decoy in a big play in the first half.
Fullback, leading powers.
Yeah.
This guy's a football player.
All right, and remember, for live coverage of the Capital One post game from here at the SRS Distribution Las Vegas Bowl, log on to ESPN app immediately following the game. Don't forget the Lending Tree Bowl is coming up next.
The jawline. Look at the jawline. He said.
He's a football player. Is that what you'd say? He's a football player.
Playing football. Dave, you were incredible today.
All right, for Kirk Herbstreit, Pat McAfee, Laura Rutledge, I'm Dave Pash. Rice and Southern Miss coming up.